I think the development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race.
It's a flying object, and we don't know what it is. I would hope somebody is checking it out.
It was a rocket or whatever, but incredibly fast, opposite direction. It was too fast to be an airplane.
I'm glad the Pentagon is looking at this, because if it poses a threat, I want them on top of it.
Well, the craft generates its own gravitational field.
You said there's lights in the sky?
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists.
911, what's your emergency? I need help, please help me!
Aliens won't let it happen. You know, that's what we're instructed to say.
Roswell, Area 51. Alien kept deep under the ground.
1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 6, 3, 2, 1, 9, 7.
Media doesn't have your best interest in mind. The government is self-serving. You're here for a reason. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness. Good evening and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, DLive, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting. And of course, 88.4 FM, Auckland, New Zealand. Tonight, let's talk technology, shall we? That's everything. Look, when we talk about the quickening and we talk about technology, and the actual singularity is supposedly around the corner, okay? Think about it this way. The technological singularity has been described as everything after that will be unrecognizable to everything before that, okay? Meaning that the technology coming is so sci-fi, so high-tech, so ridiculous that right now we're having a hard time even conceiving of what this type of stuff will be. But supposedly it's supposed to happen in our lifetime. So we're supposed to be able to see this with our own eyes. Given a little luck, God willing, tomorrow's not guaranteed, all the rest of that stuff. Don't forget memento mori and all the rest of the Stoic mindset stuff. But yeah, this is a bizarre one, because this is technology that we've talked about recently in the last year and a half or so. And Elon Musk has teased this with his Neuralink and basically downloading your own dreams. Okay. And the bizarre part is, there's a lot of bizarre parts actually, but let's say the disturbing part is that if you have a Neuralink plugged in, some sort of invasive technology stuck into your brain with wires and all the rest, that's a little bit terrifying in and of itself. Of course, unless you need it to move, you've been paralyzed or something, and that type of stuff is a miracle. So don't get me wrong. As usual, these technologies can be good, they can be bad. It just depends on how they're used. Same thing with the AI systems we're always talking about. Same thing with tools. Yeah, a chainsaw, a hammer, whatever, a rock. Just whatever can be used for good stuff, can be used for bad stuff, okay? But here's the thing. When it comes to dreams, it's always been something that's incredibly personal. It's always been something that you can share them with people if you like, but we can't even really control our own dreams, except, shout out the lucid dreaming fam out there that I know you can. Some of you can, but most of us cannot. And so if you have a weird, for instance, a sexy time dream with, folks you probably shouldn't, then imagine somebody sees it. Okay. And why am I talking like this? Well, let me explain. And before I do that, I want you to remember there's no truth to be found here. This is a show about ideas. This is a show about matching the past and the future and talking about what it means to be human in the modern time. That's it. Okay, it's about ideas. If you're here for truth, you're in the wrong place. Go tune into some political podcast. They'll tell you all about the truth. I don't have any of it. I just have ideas and possibilities. So let's talk about that. Let's begin here. This is from a Twitter X thread. The links are going to be in the description down below as usual. But this is from @modem_works. Modem works on Twitter X. Yeah, right? Here, let me blow this up for you a little bit so we get a proper size. Okay, on the stream. Here's the deal. I'll just read it. Introducing Dream Recorder, the magical bedside open source device that plays your dreams back as cinematic reels. Okay. Did you hear that? Yeah. When I saw this, my eyes about popped out of my head. I was trying to them back in. It was terrible. That's why I was a little bit late. I was putting my eyeballs back in. Anyway, sorry about being a little late. Here's further down. It says Dream Recorder captures your subconscious in ultra low definition. Wake up, speak your dream aloud in any language, and watch it come to life as a dreamscape in the aesthetic of your choice. Okay, so that's a little different, right? That's a little different. 3, download the open source code, gather the off-the-shelf hardware components, 3D print the shell, and assemble everything. No soldering required. Okay, all right, this is where we start. And here it is. So Dream Recorder is an open source venture by Modem, developed in close collaboration with Mark Hinch, that's software and hardware, Ben Levinus, I think is how you say that, and Joe Tsao, Tsao, the industrial design, and Alexis Jamit for illustrations. But here's the deal, right? If you look at the actual, and it's a pretty cool little blurb here where, it shows you the device and on the image here, and you can see horses galloping around, unicorns maybe. I mean, what's in there? What's in a dream? What are the actual components of a dream? All right. Well, they're trying to, the giant mushrooms, the Pegasi, multiple Pegasus. Okay. Now, I guess the question to begin is this exciting or is this terrifying? Okay. So hang tight with that thought. We're going to get back to that in just a second here. I got James popping in. We'll talk to James in a moment as well. We are taking your calls as usual. If you want to be part of the conversation tonight, 702-957-1037. You can click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show. It's super easy. And yeah. So in the meantime, we're going to take a quick break and get a word from our sponsor. In this case, that is Human Inspiration. Actually, in this case, it's going to be the Stoic Mindset because I think we might need it tonight. Be right back. More Troubled Minds coming up. Do not go anywhere. Exactly 1 minute. And we're going to talk about dreams and recording them and downloading them. And dare I even suggest uploading them to something like YouTube. Be right back. More Troubled Minds on the way. Don't go anywhere. Feeling stressed? Overwhelmed? In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get swept away by our emotions. Take a breath and find your inner strength with the Stoic Minute.
You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength.
The ancient Stoic philosophers understood that we can't control everything in life, but we can control how we react.
The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts.
Focus on what you can influence. Cultivate a positive mindset and let go of what you can't change. Find your inner strength. Live each day with courage, wisdom, justice, and moderation. Embrace the Stoic virtues and find peace within. The Stoic Minute, brought to you by Jack in Oregon. Okay, let us continue, shall we? I'm Michael Strange. This is Troubled Minds. Let's go. All right, so now I was looking into this. Of course, they do have a nice website. It is dreamrecorder.ai. If you want to check the website out, link is in the description. And I'm not selling this. I'm not suggesting this. I am not pimping this product. I'm not doing any of that. Okay, just a reminder, this is a conversation about new technology. All right, and the weirdness of it. Okay, but it's a dreamrecorder.ai, and I was surprised to find that it is build your own. It's you can create these things, 3D print the shell, as it said, and it's all the stuff is here on GitHub. It's got its own GitHub page where you've got all the stuff that you can use it for, and it's built off of ChatGPT, of course, and what's the other one down here? Luma Labs, which is the dream generation, which is going to be just the video prompt that comes from, ChatGPT, formats it, and then gives it over to Luma Labs, which creates this low res dream thing. Now, again, so this is different, obviously, than the Elon Musk suggestion of Neuralink being able to download your dreams. Okay. Very different. This is more of like a dream journal that you wake up, you remember your dream, and then you speak your dream into the machine as much as you can remember. It will take it. It will create some low res version of said dream, which is kind of interesting because isn't that how dreams are really kind of remembered many times? At least for me, they're very kind of low res and like this. Strange stuff. Okay. So this is just basically a dream journal on steroids. All right. Except the dream journal in this case is creating some level of video output, some actual media that goes along with this particular technology. And again, it's just a dream journal. Okay. So it's not quite that spooky yet where it's going to, just peel your dream from your brain and then, play a video for everybody to see. And it's not quite like that yet. Okay. However, it's enough. It's close enough where I think there's a lot of implications that are about to go down with this technology. Okay. If people start using this. And so the other questions as part of this is, are you guys interested in this? Would you try it out yourself? Would you want to see what the visualization of your dream sort of through a dream journaling aspect? Are you interested in what that might look like? Or a lot of ways to look at it, or are you considering this some, cheap facsimile version of what your dream actually was, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I want to hear what you guys think about this because once again, dreamrecorder.ai. Links are in the description down below, and they're not even selling it. It's an open source thing. You can download all the constituent components, order the pieces, and 3D print the shell and put it together at home, which is kind of cool. But, however, love to hear what you think. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. Let's go to James in Michigan. What's up, brother? You're on Troubled Minds. How are you, sir? Go right ahead.
I'm okay. Hopefully you can hear me all right.
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Good. Yeah, this is a great topic. It really hits home for me in a way because of all of the weird paranormal dreams that I've had. And I really wonder how much will this kind of technology, or not even necessarily this, but the future versions of this that can take down everything to the tiniest detail, not so much a low resolution, but more of a high resolution thing. I wonder what they'll be able to pick up from those kinds of experiences, especially when we consider the idea of the dream being a gateway to other dimensions or realms or whatever. Would that technology still pick up whatever it is we're experiencing there? Because on the one hand, I could see the answer being yes, because you are accessing all those other places through dreams. But on the other hand, if they're not just dreams, then I wonder if you would just get a blank image or a very extremely blurry image, even when you're using a more high-tech version of what is available now.
Yeah, and so that's what'll come next, right? And you'll be able to have higher definition versions of this, and this is literally the beginning. I was a little shocked to see this myself, only because we've talked about this in sort of a sci-fi sense. But again, this is a low-tech version of said thing, and it's sort of a replication of a dream. It's not the exact dream, but you get the problematic stuff here. As I'm pretty sure you probably read the write-up. There's some ideas in there that I'll flash if you've read it. If not, I'll save those and we'll get into those a bit later. But did you get a chance to listen to some of that?
Yeah, I listened to the whole thing. I'll probably it'll be good whenever you bring up parts of it. I may be able to remember them more. But yeah, I did listen to the whole thing, and it was amazing. I do definitely see the possible negative effects to all that, as well as some of the positive. It makes me think of the whole. You had the word prophetic in the episode title, I believe, or at least in the write up there a couple times, and it makes me think of all these times I've heard of people having dreams of events from minor events, relatively minor events in their own lives, to supposedly dreams that seem to foretell major events in that happened later on, involving unfortunately terrible tragedies and things like that. So those things, I've heard about those over the years. I'm sure many others have as well. And I just wonder, with that kind of technology, would that be able to prevent events later or not? Because if it's a dream, then I think there's always a possibility of us getting things wrong about events that we see in dreams, and or the dream being inaccurate for whatever reason. There's also the aspect of the future always changing. So then that becomes difficult, because how many of these dreams do you keep track of that seem like they may be prophetic, versus how much do you not, because they don't match enough of your detail of your let's say your benchmarks of what a prophetic dream should be, and who decides what those are.
Yeah, exactly. And so what this allows us exactly that. So you're talking about, I'm calling this a viral dream tonight for obvious reasons, the prophetic signal problem. And James is bringing up that exact point here, is that people have been said in the past, and maybe some of you guys have actually had prophetic dreams in some ways, one way or another. And it could be, of course, explainable, other times not. It just depends on what you believe and all the rest of that stuff. As usual, right? Nonlinear, open-ended, you believe what you want, and let's talk about the ideas here. So if you believe there's such a thing as a prophetic dream, imagine this. It's not just your dream anymore if you're actually chronicling this and creating a data stream out of it, which is what will be happening as part of this technology. And not only that, you'll be able to save these things and back them up and archive them, and maybe even put them up on YouTube, which is coming, I'm sure. Like the first person who starts doing this and creating their dreams and putting them on YouTube is probably going to go super viral. But here's the thing too. Just so with that said, we're going to have a massive problem with people competing, right, for the viral dream, which is the whole point of tonight in the conversation. And so people start making stuff up. Oh, well, you had a wild dream. How about this wild dream? And as usual, everything's going to become Instagrammed, and everything's going to have filters, and everything's going to be fake and AI and phony and this and that and all this stuff. And eventually, we're going to be bored with our own dreams, because everybody else is going to be so much more exciting. And maybe we'll be whispering, "Hey, did you hear what Tina dreamt last night? Go check out her YouTube," right? This type of stuff. And so I wonder. So that's one part of this, a problematic aspect I can see kind of going forward with it. But then also, back to what James was saying, the prophetic signal problem, as I'm calling it, is imagine if it is possible to have a prophetic dream in some capacity. Well, then, if we're cataloging these things and putting them on YouTube, it becomes a data set. It becomes a massive collection of actual data. And imagine if, as we talk about the zeitgeist and the noosphere and sort of the ideas of humans kind of floating in the ether. Again, if you believe that or not, that's fine. The morphic resonance, this type of stuff. Cool. If you do, cool. If you don't, cool. But at least conceptually think about it that way. But imagine if that type of thing is also floating around in our dreams, and there is a prophetic signal from what we dream about. And many times we forget it. But if we start dream journaling this and then putting the videos up on YouTube, suddenly is it possible that we're going to start recognizing this prophetic signal? And maybe it's based on who knows what. Maybe it's based on astrological alignments. Maybe it's based on who knows. Once again, trauma, who knows? Who knows? But do you think it's possible that maybe we'll start citing this stuff and seeing, holy smokes, on that particular Tuesday, a lot of people had a dream about this thing, and it's cataloged now and it's on YouTube. And then on Friday, this thing happened. You see what I mean? Like suddenly the prophetic dream won't just be sort of a pipe dream. It will be data, and we'll be able to look back and maybe, just maybe, figure out what that signal to noise ratio is. Go ahead, James.
Yeah, and this brings to mind, so I want to make a quick analogy here. Imagine, you probably all heard of people that claim to be psychic, and they help with police investigations, either behind the scenes or even publicly. But I've heard on different shows over the years, people talk about this, trying to help out with the police. and finding themselves under suspicion by the police. Because in the mind of many police out there, not everyone obviously, but they're thinking, how do you know these things? You must be involved in whatever crime happened. So take that sort of setup and bring it to this technology. If people start having dreams of events, then they start putting those out there, or people start just finding them again through technology and everything, accessing our files or whatever, that could also lead to problems for people, because I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that have weird dreams based on whatever they're watching or listening to, whatever books they're reading, games they're playing, that have dreams about just crazy events and possibly even dangerous or negative events that never happened, that are not actually predictions. But if you get this idea of all dreams being predictive in some way, then that could lead to a lot of problems for people later on, both in the law enforcement fields, because how do you filter through all that, and the people having the dreams and having them recorded.
Yeah, exactly. It brings to mind Philip K. Dick. What was that movie? I can't remember the book. Was it called with the three precogs? Anybody remember the name of that movie? Anyway, with sort of telling the future, they were sort of dreaming in this quasi-conscious state, and they were pulling their precognitive dreams out to catch criminals as sort of this thought crime, or pre-crime is what they called it, because they were seeing things before they happened. But yeah, I mean, a lot of implications here. Thank you, Minority Report. That's the one. A lot of implications here with what this might be. And again, people fibbing on the dreams, okay? Because it's gonna be that signal to noise problem, where how would we really know what a dream is? And such and such wasn't just making up a crazy dream to get clicks on social media. So, I mean, we have a larger problem here, but the question really remains as we start tonight, and we're going to get weird and go all over the place, because of course the dream realm is weird and goes all over the place. But the question is, do you think that it is possible to, with this type of technology, catalog dreams and then reduce that signal to noise ratio in terms of the prophetic signal? And that's what's on my mind tonight. If you want to be part of the conversation, we're here with James. You're welcome to sit, as you know. Salcedo Paranormal, please give him a follow. Links in the description, troubledminds.org/friends. Follow James here. Go to salcedoparanormal.com. Check out all his books, his podcasts, all the stuff he's doing. And you're the best, James, as you know. And you're welcome to stay, as you also know.
Yep, I'll sit right in here and then listen in.
Sounds good. We'll get back to James momentarily. We got Daryl coming up and your calls as well. What do you know about this? I'm calling it a viral dream, the prophetic signal problem. You think this stuff is possible with evolving technology as we're seeing here? And what happens when you're able to plug in with a Neuralink and then look at this in a true 4K video stream? Suddenly the technology becomes spooky. Be right back. More Troubled Minds coming up. Don't go anywhere.
Troubled mind, the words they cast, heavy shadows from the past. A restless heart, a searching soul, seeking space to become whole. Troubled minds find open sky through every tear and every sigh. We rise, we fall, wings unfurled, more than labels in this world. In crowded streets or empty rooms, our echoes chase away the gloom. A spark of hope, a whispered truth, a shared melody, our fountain of youth. We're more than static on the line, singing louder than the signs. In every chord, we claim our part, beating drums match the heart. Grab the strings, we tune the stars. Punk rock anthems heal the scars. A blended mix of rage and art, painting freedom, that's just the start. Troubled minds take the stage. In every note, we break the cage. We rise, we fall, but carry on. Sing our truth until the dawn. In the quiet after the song, echoes of our rights and wrongs. But the music speaks for peace. In the chords we find release. Troubled minds now rest at ease. With every breath we seize release. We stand, we soar into the light. Our anthem roar into the night.
Hello, friends. What's going on? Quick rundown. What's up? Matt Sal Gaston is here. What's up, Shane? APOC, Mindy. How you doing? Joey. What's up, Roving Fungus? That's MJ, JJ, UA, please. How you doing? Funny name. I like that. What's up, Sweets, Dawn, Michael W, Hirsch, Jorge, and Lily. I see you guys. Hope you're well tonight. Over to Rumble. Good evening, folks. Hello, hello. We got Gordos here. Hiker. Good evening. What's happening, folks? Sweets and hello, hello. Who am I missing? Who am I missing? Tan Lines is here. What's happening, folks? And YouTube, Mr. Mission Control. We got RC. What's happening, Christy? Welcome to the joint. Lily, James, I see you guys. Let's see. Who did I miss? Who did I miss? Hello, Kelly's there as well. What do you do, Chunky? Minority Report. Is that UA, please? I'm not sure who that is. Anyway, what's up? Whoever you are there, thanks for the comment and Minority Report. Dimension is here. I see you. What's happening, folks? You guys are the best, and thanks for hanging out and being just appreciating the conversations. What's up, Richard in Texas? So much. Jake is back. Welcome back. Eli is here. Good evening, guys. All right, here we go. Trouble Minds coming up. Sage is here, and Shane and Fred. Okay, here we go. Trouble Minds happening in 10 seconds. More from James. We got Daryl, and we got your calls as well. What do you think about this? If we could catalog dreams and store them like data, you think there would be something a little more spooky than we ever dreamed? Here we go. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, D-Live, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting. And, of course, 88.4 FM, Auckland, New Zealand. Tonight, what if dreams aren't just fragments of memory, but portals, signals, or even simulations waiting to be tuned? Could machines decode prophecy, resurrect minds, or manipulate the subconscious with symbols alone? And if sleep becomes a battleground for influence, are we still the ones dreaming? Or, of course, being dreamed? Which is one of the most fascinating things about dreams is, well, this is the dream. Life is but a dream. Quantum dreams, we're all connected, am I right? Speaking of which, if you guys want to help, again, I don't do fundraisers. I never have done one for this show in 7 years plus now for us directly. My computer's dying, end of life, Windows 10 coming up. I don't want to buy a middling, crappy computer, so I've released the music. And it's probably been the single most requested thing is a lot of the Troubled Minds songs have become kind of greatest hits. So if you do want to help, I've got a link. I'll drop that in the chat. I appreciate the people who've already done that. All the proceeds from the music and the Trouble Minds greatest hits will go to a new machine and update things, and hopefully we'll have some new slick functionality as part of it. So thank you for supporting the show. Thank you for caring enough to do that. And yeah, I appreciate it very much. If you have questions on that, I know I've had some people ask questions on how do I do that? How do I get the downloads? This, that, the other. I'm your guy. Send me an email, troublemindsradio@gmail.com. I'm main tech support. And of course, you could just hit me on the Discord at troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link, come say hi. But there we go. So that's that. I'll drop that link in the chat in a second here. But all right, so a viral dream, the prophetic signal problem. Is it possible to peel a prophetic signal out of that signal to noise if we had people dream journaling and uploading their dreams every night, every morning on YouTube? That's what's on my mind tonight. Anything on that, James? And then we'll go to Daryl real quick.
Just congratulations on the music there. I think that's great. And I'm actually looking forward. I do want to buy it because I do enjoy it, the show and everything. And I'll be doing that first thing next month. But yeah, the just all the confusion I think that could happen, but also you mentioned the basically recreating minds. I do wonder if enough people have dreams about the same person. This almost could possibly go into the idea of thought forms. Could they, with enough collect the dreams and everything, make some new entity that is meant to model some other individual from the past, and have that new being around in some way.
Exactly, which is a little bit in the write-up. So some of that stuff, the dream entities, or even resurrecting sort of, for instance, we'll just throw this log onto the fire right now, and you guys can think about it. Maybe when you guys call right now, talk about this. But just another idea, as James is describing, what if somebody's passed on, but they were sort of an avid dream journaler, and then you find it in an attic somewhere, grandma's dream journal or something, and then you're able to describe these dreams to this machine and actually get a representation of grandma's dreams. You see what I mean? Suddenly this becomes a quasi-resurrection-esque thing. And again, was that signal to noise prophetic thing different in that era than it is today? And I would imagine probably so, just because of the technology and how it's accelerating. You're the best, James. Hang tight. We'll get back to you soon. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show. Thanks for being patient, Daryl. You're on Troubled Minds. How are you? And go right ahead.
Oh, this is such a great subject, Michael. I think there's so many great possibilities for this. Even based on what you were saying, like, what if you could just say to AI, give me an example of, like, you know, a 1865, you know, sixth generation, you know, Michael Strange grandfather dream or something, you know? Let me get the sixth generation of dreams from Abe Lincoln's family. You know, what did Jesus dream about? You know, stuff like that. That could be really interesting for AI to, you know, come up with an AI dream. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, to kind of simulate it. So we wouldn't really know, but yeah, to kind of create a simulation-esque of what those dream states may have been like. Yeah, I love that. That's a great idea. Yep.
But I was thinking I would probably do my dreams would be on like OnlyFans, so I could make some money maybe. And I think
there you go.
Oops. I think I think dreams are going to be like for fetishists, people that have fetishes. Like, you know, who's gonna want to see me on the bus, you know, fully clothed except from the waist down, you know? This is like my kind of dream, or my teeth are falling out. You know, who's going to want to watch that, you know? People with like weird fetishes, you know? Or like I'm always dreaming that I'm on stage without my, you know, again, like dressed from the waist up, and from the waist down I forgot to get dressed in public, you know? And,
which is a normal dream. That's a normal dream for a lot of people. It's a normal dream for a lot of people too.
I know, and my worst fear is that I don't know the lines to the play I'm in. Not that I'm half dressed, you know. I'm mortified that I didn't rehearse whatever scene I'm supposed to be in, you know. But you know, I think it would be more about OnlyFans and people that have fetishes, because our dreams are so weird. But I like some people, like I've been watching a lot of Netflix lately, so you know, they have like these, you know, high consciousness kind of, you know, series like OA, where people have collective dreams, and then they can actually, if they have 5 people recreating what they've dreamt about certain movements, they can actually heal, like, you know, like raise the dead, or, you know, cure the dead, or cure a disease. Very interesting things. And like maybe our dream conscious is like a collective consciousness. And we can all dream about world peace, and it could change the world, you know? If that you know, that kind of collective consciousness, if we're all aware of our dreams, and they're being viral, and we're watching them like on, you know, if you know, they're viral and most of the world is watching world peace, wouldn't that change the world, Margaret Mead, right?
Yeah, I wonder. It's a good call there. And so if, let's say we have something like that, there's maybe a better track record of goodwill in our dreams, just sort of randomly speaking, you know, versus the real world, yeah, where it's always war or whatever. And what if we start manifesting that onto YouTube? Because this is what will happen. Absolutely. People are going to start uploading this stuff, and it's just going to become a thing. Like every other crazy, weird thing that's happening in 2025, this is going to become a thing. And so that maybe we can sort of use that collective goodwill from the dream realm, and maybe it does start to change this realm. I love that idea as well. Good one.
It could. I think if our consciousness is that's what the biggest secret is our consciousness. What happens to our consciousness when we die? This, you know, it's like all about consciousness. And why are our dreams so weird? And where do we really go when we dream? And how far can we go? And are there similar near-death experiences that are like dreams? Things like that. Maybe there's some strength in that area of life. That maybe it is the most important part of our life, and living our alert part, is kind of the least important or the least powerful. Maybe there's some power there that we're missing, something like that.
Yeah.
But I was also thinking, yeah, go ahead.
No, you go. All you.
No, I'm just thinking of like all the other dreams, like recurring dreams I have. Like I'm having, like let's say I'm having sex with my first boyfriend. I'm on my third marriage, and then my husband's watching my dream. Like could that ruin a marriage? Stuff like that. Or like sometimes I'm at a banquet and I'm like gorging on food. Like what kind of pig am I? Who would I want really watching me overeat? But there are people that like to watch people overeat, like fetishists. So those are some of the things that I'm thinking that I would not really want anybody to know about, that I dream about these kind of things. But that's what people have weird dreams, and that's pretty much my kind of strange dreams. I don't know if you have any odd dreams that you would admit to. Or sometimes I have scary dreams too, like I'm running away from somebody who's chasing me, and I don't have any panties on, again, without my half dressed. I'm always half dressed. I'm never really naked. Usually just like I forgot to put my pants on, something like that. And I'm always on a bus or somewhere in public. Oops.
Well, okay. So you said that I kind of wouldn't want anybody to know about these type of dreams, but you just told us, so you outed yourself. So so you may as well.
Am I talking?
You may as well download the stuff and put them on YouTube.
Yeah, right. let anybody. I'm sure their imagination is much better than the reality, but like as if it would ever happen. But yeah, it would be something that it's I could talk about, but I certainly don't want to have like it cinematized or digitalized without making serious money. I mean, there's always a price.
Which becomes a problem. Yeah. So will dreams become a commodity? And then of course, look, as I said, everything's going to kind of become Instagramized, right? So everybody's going to be faking their dream, embellishing their dreams, straight up just making stuff up. And so eventually there will be sort of a premium on this, a certified dream, like actually, a Neuralink approved or whatever. And, it was dreamt on this night by this person. We've got the timestamp, and it's, here's the seal of approval to make sure that you're actually getting the dream that you're paying for. Right.
Right. It's not some like CGI dream. It's like the real thing,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
It would be like, yeah. It would have to be like, what do you call it? Do you want to get your dream validated? You have to do something with your cell phone to get a code, or do a CAPTCHA, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. All this is coming to, again, this is brand new. So we're talking, if you're just joining us, we're talking about this dreamrecorder.ai. We're here with Daryl in New York and taking your calls as well. And so basically Dream Recorder is a portal to your subconscious. The magical beside bed device catches your nightly visions and plays them back as vivid cinematic reels. But it doesn't take anything from your brain. You wake up, it's like a dream journal. You speak into the thing, and then it will craft a low-res video of your dream and then play it back to you. So it's not invasive yet. It'll only do what you tell it. But that's what we're talking about tonight. And how weird does this get? What else you got? Go ahead, Daryl.
Well, I think I've exploited, the kind of exploitation possibilities. And then I just do have 3 jokes, by the way.
Love to hear them.
First of all, I always tell this one. I went to my therapist. I told him I have this recurring dream. First I'm a teepee, then I'm a wigwam, then I'm a teepee, then I'm a wigwam. And you know what my doctor told me?
No.
I think you're too tense.
Damn it, Daryl.
That's one of my favorites.
An oldie but a goodie.
An oldie but a goodie. I keep dreaming. I have a dream that I wrote the book The Hobbit, but I was just Tolkien in my sleep. Okay.
Zing.
You know what Spider-Man's dream job would be?
No.
A web developer.
Damn it, Daryl.
Okay, that's it.
And in his dreams, who knows in his dreams? That's a good question too. Do superheroes dream? And if so, do they dream of being regular people? I don't know. Well, whole bunch of wild stuff here. I mean, right? Do that? I mean, does Superman have nightmares about being Superman? Maybe. I mean, maybe. Of course, it's a conceptual thought, but I don't know. Maybe. I would say maybe.
Probably has like kryptonite nightmares, that he's stuck in a room with kryptonite or his powers are taken away. Yeah, that's a good question. One that we'll never know.
One that we'll never know exactly. It's a fine thought experiment that we'll never have an answer to. Daryl, you're the best. Thanks again for popping in here. Thanks for bringing the jokes. Thanks for coming prepared. Always a pleasure. Have a fantastic night.
Great topic. Good night.
Thank you. Great call. Appreciate you very much. Daryl, you love her. Been a good friend for a long time. The Cosmic Comic, the official Cosmic Comic of Troubled Minds. You can go follow her YouTube channel. I recommend you do. troubledminds.org/friends. Scroll down a little bit. It is alphabetical. It says follow Daryl there. Just click that. It'll take you to her YouTube channel. It's free to follow. Please do that. She's got some stuff on Morgellons, some paranormal stuff. She's very talented. She sings in English and French, which you can find some of that on her channel. And also come join our Discord where she does karaoke regularly, and you're allowed to go hang out or also join and sing if you sing. So come meet Daryl. She's way more amazing than she seems on the calls. Even though she's amazing on the calls, she's just a peach, just an unbelievable fun person, smart person to be around. Talented is all talented, and come meet the amazing group of friends that we built over the years, and Daryl chief among them. I appreciate you very much. We're talking dreams tonight in terms of this. I'm calling it a viral dream, the prophetic signal problem. Now, the first question to really get into this is, do you believe in prophetic dreams? 2, if you can actually catalog dreams with this dreamrecorder.ai thing we're talking about and put this stuff up on YouTube, dreams now become data. Now, do you think you could narrow that signal to noise ratio and find the prophetic signal within the dreams, given enough data? That's one of the questions. There's way more that we can get to as we go tonight, but I'd love to hear what you think. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. Shane, the blind psychonaut. What's up, brother? You're on Troubled Minds. How are you doing tonight? All yours. Go right ahead.
How's it going?
Pretty good. How you doing? Coming through loud and clear?
Perfect. Now, when you talk about the prophetic dream, that makes me think of Edgar Casey, which they called him the sleeping prophet, which, I mean, it's up to you as a person to believe what he said, but from the books and his recordings, written down, he helped a lot of people with what he was doing, and he would go into a sleeping state. So I think in that aspect, I do believe that there's something now. I mean, there are some wild ones that people I dreamt the world ended or whatever. So I don't know. There's always a fine line,
Yeah, well, exactly. And how much of that is true, how much is not? Because, of course, even people that have had prophetic dreams, talking to you guys out there, I know I've talked to some of you in the past, and you feel like you have here or there. But even people that have done it, you can't replicate it easily. And then you don't even know if you you nailed it or you were kind of close, or it's foggy. It is kind of buried in the dream fog for sure. But I wonder if it's true. I wonder if our subconscious is tapped into something that we can't really quantify as awakened people. I mean, the non-dream state. So who knows?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think there's a lot of things that are hindering a current society to tap into that potential with all of the social media, the politic stuff, even the food that we eat that is bad for us. I think a lot of, like I said, is hindering us tapping into it, especially even with the wireless the wireless internet, Wi-Fi, all the signals. I think it's blocking or just hindering us, if you will. Now, personally, I've gotten rid of watching cable TV. I mean, now it's pointless for me, but and engaging on stupid social media and all that, and starting to eat a lot better due to medical reasonings. That I feel like kind of a fog lift, and like my dreams are more vivid, clear. But again, I also practice lucid dreaming, and I record my dreams a lot. And they say, and it's proven that the more you record your dreams, the more you remember. Now you're talking about this site, AI, that if I got it right, that you basically record your dream on it, and it makes a short video of your dream. Is that what
Yeah,
it does?
like a low res short video. And so it doesn't tap into your brain directly. It's basically like a dream journal. You wake up, you remember it, it's fresh on your mind. You tell it what your dream was, and it will create a low res version and play it back to you. Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, like on my channel, I have I guess you call videos that I've named Chronicles of a Blind Psychonaut. My lucid dreams is where I attempted to make videos help with AI, like animated or however kind of pictures it does, but of my dreams, which that thing, I think it stole my idea. I'm just saying. No, but uh getting it weird that I said in the chat, like if you start recording your dreams like to a high resolution or even a low resolution, now could that be another form of like blackmail, like you guys, you and Daryl were talking about, like, or even you were talking about having like sex dreams, and maybe you had one of someone you shouldn't have with or something, and like you record it for your own curiosity, and someone gets a hold of it. Could that become like a sex tape type thing? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
you record it for your own curiosity. You want to review the footage to make sure the accuracy is in place for later viewing. I love that. Yeah, I mean, I get exactly what you're saying. I'm just making the joke about it because, you know, the dream realm's a bizarre place. But yeah, that becomes very much, as you're describing, a very blackmailable thing. I mean, the dreams are vulnerable. They're one of those things that we don't even understand ourselves as a society, as a human society going back thousands of years. It's still one of those really weird, hard to put your finger on things about being human that it doesn't make a lot of sense. We tried to, but yeah, you're absolutely spot on. That you know, you can't control it. Sometimes you have the most messed up dream. You're like, wow, what the hell was that? That was insane. And then, you know, of course, that gets shipped off, you know, to your therapist, your assigned GPT therapist. It's like, okay, Shane, we need to talk.
Yeah, what are you thinking here? You know, they break down like the video if you have one. But now the question is would they let it slide if it's a non-lucid dream? But if you have a lucid dream and you have those type of dreams, or even like a violent dream, since if you do have dream control, would you get in trouble because you are manipulating your dream in that aspect? That makes me think, like, especially like what they're doing in the UK, you know, like arresting people for tweets. And now if you have the capability to upload your dream on YouTube, are they, you know, now they're attacking your IP. So I mean, how far does it go? Which that gets kind of scary on that aspect. But on the other hand, I think the good of it is that there's studies, and they know that dreams, especially if you can become lucid, that it can help with like PTSD, night tremors, or night terrors, not tremors, but night terrors. So would it be more beneficial if you can record your dream, then have your doctor or therapist review it of like your nightmare, and then so they have a better idea? Because I know for me, sometimes it's hard to explain your dream. You know, like you don't remember everything. Some of it's fuzzy, you know, but if you have a recording of it, it's like, I think that can be quite helpful people that come back from war or have a traumatic experience. Yeah, I think that could be quite helpful on that end.
Yeah, totally. I think too, if you can lucid dream, I've heard this as well. I'll see if I can dig up the literature on this, that it not just helps with, like you said, some PTSD, some other stuff, but it also helps with problem solving a little bit, because it's like what you're doing sort of in the lucid state, at the lucid dreaming state. So I don't know. I mean, which also there are benefits of playing video games kind of in that same realm. So I don't know. I wonder if there's, sort of a larger benefit here. And if you imagine, so for me, I don't really dream journal because I can't remember my dreams a lot. But if I started, it would continue, and maybe I'd remember them more. So maybe this is going to be, I don't know, a dream revolution of sorts. What's your take there?
Well, like I've done a lot of studying on dreams, and I don't know if you've heard of the lucid dreaming author Robert Wagner, but I've talked to him, had many conversations with him, and in his books and many of the other lucid dreaming authors, even like normal dream authors and researchers, to answer your question is yes, the more you dream journal, the better you will remember your dreams. But you have to be consistent with doing it. Not like, okay, I'm going to dream journal, Monday and then skip all the way until Saturday. You got to be every day, and you have to record like even like the smallest detail, that you might not even think that's important, but what and the reason why you record your dreams right away when you wake up is because you're still in that groggy theta delta brain state, and you're activating your critical thinking, and that helps you recall your dreams. And the more you do it, it's just kind of like working out. More you work out, the stronger you get at whatever workout you're doing. And in this aspect, you're working your critical thinking in that groggy state, and you're attempting to recall your dreams. So I would say, Michael, if you want to recall your dreams better, you just record your dreams as much as you can and record as much as you can. And then to the point you were saying that it helps problem solve with like lucid dreaming and dreams. It's funny you say that, because just the other day I asked my dad, we were talking about lucid dreams, and he said that, when I have a problem at work, I go, I dream and I solve problems in my dreams. But,
that's amazing.
So, yeah.
As you know, the music means we got to go. We're going to take a break. If you want to stay, mute up, and we'll get back and let you finish if you got anything else. If not, you're the best. I'll tell everybody about you when we get back. Your choice. Be right back. More Troubled Minds coming up. That's Shane the Blind psyching out. We got Kelly on the line. We got more from James and your calls as well. Don't go anywhere. More Troubled Minds on the way.
Shadows, we've got maps where nobody goes. In the night under hidden glows, guardians of what no one knows. We seek the truth, nothing can hide from me. In cloaked silence we traverse the lines, through ancient scrolls in forgotten times. Voices echo in the halls of lore, guardians of the mysteries evermore. We seek the truth, nothing can hide from me. Shadows meet in cryptic disguise, our eyes sharp against the ever lies, with silver still to guard the past, forgotten world. In the realm where the myths collide with hidden lore, our fates are tied. Signals bouncing off the astral plane, invisible codes that can't be tamed. We decode the stars under the midnight veil. A state and silken sweat midnight hail. In the echoes of time where the legends lay, we tread the path where shadows play. With spectral eyes we discern the truth, unraveling tales from ancient youth. We seek the truth.
I like the line "spectral eyes" in that song. What's up, guys? Hope you're well tonight. We got more from Shane coming up, more from James. Hope you guys are well. If I missed you in the chat, just say hey. I'll say hi back. What's up, Daryl? Matsal, great call, Daryl. Fantastic as always. Great stuff from James and Shane as well. What's up, Matsal? Gaston is here. APOC. What's up, UA? Please. We got Jeff and Wiska. What's up, Joey? Roving Fungus. MJ. JJ. Joe in Florida. Welcome back. I'd love to hear about your trip to Japan. What's up, Sweets? Dawn. Michael W. Hirsch. Lily and Mephisto. How you guys doing? We got Kelly on the line. What's up, RC's in the chat. Matt Sal. I see you guys. I dropped the, if you guys are interested in helping support the show, you like the music we play, there's some good songs on there. Check them out. It's it's $15 and it's a digital download. So yeah, there's an actual physical version as well. So if you're into that, I mean, if you have to have the physical version, then yeah, cool. What's up? Derek the Night Stalker says Donald ducking it, talking about dreaming with your pants off. Hell yeah, Mr. Mission Control. I see you guys. If I missed anybody, just say hi in the chat. I'll say hi back. I think I missed Taxi. Was that Taxi Graveyard? Who was that over on Kick? I saw somebody over there. How you doing, buddy? Let's see if I missed you. Sorry about that. Just say hi again, and I'll say hi back. What's up? Tan Line Sweets is here. Puff, welcome, Puff. YY is here. Good evening, guys. Yeah, wild one tonight. Hey, every time you talk about dreams, it turns into a wild show. That's a fact. No doubt about that. Thank you for dropping the link there, Sweets. Appreciate that. And to those of you who have purchased the music already, I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. What else? Sylvain in the chat. How you doing? I see you guys. If I missed you, just say hi. I'll say hi back as we go. Love to hear your thoughts on this. The dream stuff is always bizarre, but this one's even more weird because, I mean, imagine we're going to turn dreams into sort of Instagram, punching back. Hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe to my dream journal. You never know what's going to come out of my subconscious tomorrow. I mean, here we go. Strap in. 5 seconds. Trouble Minds coming up. More from Shane, more from James. We got Kelly and your calls as well. Here we go. That's the wrong button. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, D-Live, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting. And, of course, 88.4 FM, Auckland, New Zealand. Tonight, what if dreams aren't just fragments of memory, but portals, signals, or even simulations waiting to be tuned? Could machines decode prophecy, resurrect minds, or manipulate the subconscious with symbols alone? And of course, we're talking about this bizarre new thing called the Dream Recorder. Now, it doesn't plug into your head just yet. You have to wake up, tell it what your dream was, and then it will make a low-res video representation of what you told it. Of course, it is powered by ChatGPT, and it is completely open source. You can order the parts and build this thing yourself, which is kind of cool. There's an entire GitHub for it. It's all there. It's super interesting. And there's that, building the device and getting the recorder set up. It's got everything you need there. It's built on a Raspberry Pi base, if you guys know what that stuff is. If you're any bit techie, you'll understand what I'm saying here. It's a fascinating thing to consider. But the larger context of this becomes, if even in a rudimentary or rough sense, you could catalog dreams and then put them on YouTube, would we find a signal to noise ratio of prophecy? Would we be able to determine without the shadow of a doubt now, because there's going to be some level of data involved, not just some guy's random dream on a Tuesday night, Maybe on Tuesday night, a bunch of people had prophetic dreams. Maybe on Tuesday night, a bunch of people had the same prophetic dream. You see what's going on here? Suddenly, just the idea of dreams become data. And beyond that, it gets weird. Love to hear what you think about that. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. Let's finish up with Shane real quick. Get a quick blurb from James if he's got it, and then we'll go to Kelly. And Kelly, you got the rest of the time as you need it. Go ahead, Shane. Welcome back.
Yeah, I only had like a couple more things I wanted to say, but what I think could happen if like someone got the Neuralink and you're talking about, uploading your dreams onto YouTube. Now, can you imagine having the Neuralink and doing a live stream dream or like a live stream lucid dream? I think that'd be pretty wild. And I think that could, I think that's what would blow up is like people who could lucid dream and upload their dreams. I
think it's coming. Yeah, I agree. And live streaming your dreams. I mean, all this stuff is probably within, 5 years or 10 years tops of actually happening. So it's going to get weird, man. It's going to get weird. And that's why we talk about this stuff. What was your other thought? Go ahead.
No, I guess that was about it. But thanks for letting me talk about this. And I always love, especially the dream aspect, obviously, by my YouTube channel. But I'll give the floor to Kelly, and thanks for letting me come on. And I also wanted to say the new way that you allow me to get on the stage is so much easier. And thanks for doing that.
Glad to have you. Glad to cut a couple steps out because I know it's a pain in the butt. So I'm glad it's working. I'm glad it's helping, and glad to have you back. Thanks for popping in here and sharing your wisdom with us. Always a pleasure, brother. Have a great night.
You too, and can't wait for the rest of the calls.
Amen. Amen. Me too. That's Shane. You know him. You love him. The Blind Psychonaut. Check out his YouTube channel. Again, troubledminds.org/friends. It's called Lucid Dreaming with the Blind Psychonaut. Scroll down. It's alphabetical. It says follow Shane. Just click that, and it'll take you right to his YouTube channel. And go give him a follow. Again, the Blind Psychonaut is not a moniker that's not without truism, because he's low vision, can't see anymore. He's tragically lost his sight. So that's what he's talking about. The Discord sort of, we streamlined it for him so he's able to just pop it. So I'm glad it worked. Fantastic. Glad to hear from him. James, anything real quick, and then we'll go to Kelly.
Yeah. I also appreciate, cause you did a similar thing for me, as well a little while ago. And cause it is hard, even though I do use Windows Magnifier, when that window, the dialog box pops up, it's hard to find it at 1200% zoom on a screen, so I appreciate that. It is, it's hard to find things quickly, on a screen like that. But this makes me, great call from Shane, as always. This makes me wonder, I've talked about this before. I can go into it later in more detail if there's time, but I've had many dreams over the years about places I didn't recognize while I was there. And then months or even years later, I ended up going to those places physically in person. And I even had one case where I had 3 different dreams or 4 different dreams, and that took place on different days. And I ended up visiting all those places in one evening years later. And I just really wonder, one of the possible benefits to all this could be figuring out, okay, I dreamed of this weird place the other day. Listen to me, nocturnal here. And I don't know where it was. Well, I wonder, with enough technology, could you figure out where it was without having to wait to go there?
Yeah, well said. Or even be able to sort of, as we've talked about in the past, maybe start mapping, the quote dream realm. And, maybe I have this bizarre dream. I'm on this giant tower spire thing, and there's a dragon flying by, and I'm like, what is this? This is out of Never Ending Story or something. But then somebody else has the same dream in the same place, or very similar in the same place. I wonder if that type of stuff can kind of start converging when you get enough dream data. And what does it mean? That becomes the question. What does it mean, James? What does it mean?
And do we create those places somewhere else in reality, somewhere else in the universe, if enough people do dream about them?
Well said. Well said. Thank you very much. You know him, you love him. That's James Salcedo Paranormal. We're talking a viral dream tonight, the prophetic signal problem. If we were to catalog dreams and put them on YouTube, for instance, you think there'd be something spooky about what we found out in that data stream. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show. Thanks for being patient, my man. Kelly in Colorado, you're on Troubled Minds. How are you? And go right ahead.
Good evening, Michael. How you doing?
Pretty good. Doing talking dreams with my friends. It's hard to beat that. What's on your mind, my man?
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Sounds good, man. Well, now this machine. Let me get this straight before I continue. But you're saying that you would dream and then you tell the machine what you dreamed, or does the machine read your dreams and then produce what you dreamt?
Yeah. So not yet. Right now, it's basically you dream it, and then you wake up, and as a dream journal aspect, you speak into the machine, tell it what your dream was roughly, and then it will create an approximation, a low-res approximation of what your dream was in video form, and then after it creates it, it will play it back to you. Yeah. So right now it's not hooked into your brain, it's not reading your mind, it's not doing any of that. But of course, with the Neuralink stuff coming online and more non-invasive versions of that the next step will of course be real-time live streaming your dreams. So yeah, you're both right, but it's not here yet as far as we know.
I would almost have to beg to differ on that one, only because there was something I posted on Discord, right? And this was 2003, or 23. Excuse me, but anyway, that one was just talking about how they're tapping into your dreams so you can have lucid dreams, right? Tapping into your mind while you're sleeping. Well, they're doing this with low frequencies, right? And what's interesting sometimes when you think about that, right, you don't want to, how do you know if it's even your dream anymore, you know? And if you're waking up, you know what I mean, like, and then thinking you know, it's almost like, you know, they've been doing this type of stuff since the 50s, right? And it's all about mind control. That's what it is. It's all about controlling the masses, right? And using frequencies like that. Like right now, there, for instance, you know, where everything's Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or whatever. But for example, if you want Wi-Fi through your house, right? Usually, you know, they got 3 bands that Wi-Fi runs off at just like 2.4 gigahertz, and then you got 5 and 6, right? So most, I mean, so obviously you're going higher, and they're going to have more. They're going to be stronger frequencies. Now, most of your Wi-Fi and smart refrigerators and that tell you they got low on milk, and you know, the smart dishwasher to tell you that your dishes are done, and the smart washer and dryer, all that stuff that you want, you know. And they talk about faster speeds. That's what it is. It's all about speed, even with Wi-Fi signals. So now most of your ones are like your Wi-Fi, like I'm like, you know, explain with all those things within your house. Those are using the 5 band, right? Now, obviously the more powerful one is going to be 6, right? 6 gigahertz. But right now, I mean, pumping that all through your house, right? And they can even use that to see through your house, you know, bounce it off the walls, and they can even see like a figure, you know, kind of like Batman was looking for the Joker in the movie. It was, you know, when he had the cell phone and he thought it was unethical. What's the name? And anyway, that development like that's what they got already. Now, if they're already using that to do mind control, I mean, and then you're, you know, want to share that with somebody. How do we even know that's even yours? I mean, it's in a personal way, right? How do I even know that was my dream I was even having?
Yeah, it's a good question.
I mean, go ahead.
No, yeah, to me, it's a very good question, because if they've been working on this level of technology for a long time, I wonder. I mean, because it's very Inception sort of, maybe not necessarily infiltrating people's dreams, tandem dreaming, this type of thing. You know, planting an idea. If you guys have seen Inception, it's very good. I recommend you go watch it. That whole bit. But even if it's not that, it could be sort of a dream suggestion. And so in that case, it's not even your pure dream. It's a sort of propagandized dream. And you're dreaming about things that you normally wouldn't because of whatever else is happening sort of in the not just the mass media, but the zeitgeist and who knows the EMF signals and all the stuff we always talk about. Yeah, maybe, huh?
I mean, it'd be a very nice concept because believe me, I've had some dreams before that were like, the one I've talked about before. To watch that on a screen would have been, incredible. Like there was times when I was younger too, I would have, I don't know why, I just had like always my dreams were like really vivid, not just like saying that you were there and you had a dream. I mean, I'm talking like I was physically there, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that has vivid dreams like that, but I mean, there was times I was want to write it down, practicing like, I'd wake up, had a tablet because I wanted to at least sketch something down, you know what I mean? Like this is what happened. And then, I can reflect back on it instead of just forget about it, and you want to do that as soon as you wake up. That's what I was doing. I don't even know where that book went anymore. When I was a kid, probably about 10 years old, on up, I was trying to do that. But imagine that, I mean? And then what I wanted to do with that, my idea was this, is write it down, right? And then make a screenplay and then make a movie out of it. Because some of the dreams I had was just, crazy. They were just, I could see people I had a really bizarre dream. I really don't dream much anymore, but I had a really bizarre one last night and it just didn't really make sense. It kind of really irritating, but it like touched base with like my father's side of the family and it was weird. I don't know. It was just strange, but anyway, getting back to that, that's a nice concept if you could do that, but I don't know, even believe in anybody anyway. If you're just, I know it's a new thing, but like TikTokers and everybody would be all over that saying, oh, look at my dream, just come up with something and, like AI would put it together and that's what you have. But I'm talking like real dreams, I would love to see that, that'd be one thing that
it's coming.
That would be pretty cool to have.
It's coming. Elon Musk talked about that. If you remember, we were watching we didn't watch it on the stream, but we talked about it afterward. They had the 3 little piggies or whatever that they had put these Neuralinks in. And they were testing to see if they had, recognized if they took it out or if they put it in. And there didn't seem to be any sort of difference in the happiness quotient and all the rest of that. But anyway, during that little talk with Elon and the team there at Neuralink, he was describing exactly that eventually we would be able to sort of download a high definition dream and memories and all the rest of that stuff. And if that's not a Black Mirror episode on steroids, I don't know what is. But maybe one day soon, that type of thing is going to be a reality, man.
Yeah, that would be like, again, the concept would be nice, but right now, again, that's where I go back to the thing where science is already messing with your dreams anyway. So it's like, what do I really believe? Do I want to believe that I did have this dream and, or was it just planted in there? And then, that's just crazy because, that's like I said, to me, I look at all that and I think diabolical because if you're messing with people's minds with frequencies and you're doing something you shouldn't be doing anyway, that's just all controlling the masses again. They've got like smart dust they've had, where it's breathable, injectable. Those things are like micro small, that's the nanotech before it was even nanotech, and this was like made by Hitachi like back in the 80s, right? So I'm pretty sure the technology is way greater than that now. We don't really see it. They say it is. You see some of those microchips where they zoom in. I don't know how real it is, but that supposedly one they zoomed in all the way, and man, that was like, there's no way we got even a machine to make something like that. But I don't know, man.
Yeah,
it would, like I said, I'd like to see my dreams all on screen. That'd be awesome. I'm pretty sure I'd scare somebody.
Yeah, exactly, and terrifying. Maybe you scare yourself because, as usual, right? Like because they're kind of ambiguous. You remember some of the dreams, some of it you don't. We've talked about time dilation in dreams, where maybe you dreamt for like a week. Like dream time, but then it, only felt like, an hour or a couple hours because that's all you were sleeping or whatever. So, that type of stuff, imagine if you're like, that epic dream I had, it was like a month long. Like, imagine that. It's like a month long of like a movie, a month long. That'd be so crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's weird too, because sometimes when you do dream, like you're saying, you only fall asleep for an hour, and that thing seems like it was like forever. I've had dreams like that where, and I, like I even scared myself. I jumped up and I looked at the clock and it said 8, and I thought it was, like late to go to work, and it was like late 8 at night. I was freaking out, because the dream was it seemed like it was so long, but it was only like probably 5-10 minutes. Who knows, man? You can put yourself in, thinking about that, using your own mind to, where we could just, I don't know, like it's a portal or something. Just you find yourself somewhere else, and like your real self. You know what I mean? Not this flesh and body, but your real self in other places like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, 100%. Would you try something like this? The not the invasive version, but the dream journal version? Are you interested in kind of doing this thing? Does it make you go, I wonder? Or are you like, hell no? What's your take on that?
I'm more hesitant on that one. You know what I mean? Like, because right now, if we're talking, we're in like the crawling stage. Like I said, people just say what they want and saying that was their dream, just so they can see, whatever it comes up with. But if for myself though, yeah, I would like to see it. I still remember that dream that I had when I was a kid, the one that was for about a year straight. You can never forget something like that. If I put that something in it, I could see them pulling up and and then see what they can come up with. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm wondering about this because and there's problematic parts because of course you're feeding this into Chat GPT, and then it's feeding it into another AI and sort of creating a low res cinematic, and and we know these things hallucinate, and so it's not going to be true anyway. It's more of a facsimile of what your dream sort of was as you describe it badly as you just woke up. So yeah, I don't know, but imagine if it slays it and you're just like, damn, that's exactly where I was. That's exactly what I saw. Like that's the sort of the level of this where it might start to get super spooky. And I don't know. Like I said, I'm thinking about it, but yeah, it's cool that it's a DIY kit. I want to point this out too. On the GitHub, it has all the pieces and stuff to do this yourself. It costs about $500, I think, to buy all the parts. So if you guys have a little bit of scratch in your pocket and you want to, you got a little bit of adventure in your electronics type building stuff, put it together and see. I'd like to see one of these things. Or if I had time, I'd put one of these together and start doing this and make a YouTube channel of nothing but this. Maybe be the pioneer of this, and maybe everybody follows you, and you go super viral on TikTok, and boom, you made it. There you go. Just an idea. Hey, who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All these TikToker guys would be all over this stuff, man. And that's what I'm saying. Like they come up with some. I was riding a dragon, and next, me and the Ewoks jumped off, and we landed in this rainbow, and we slid down, and we started battling the orcs. You know what I mean? Something like that. And then they're saying, I just did it right there. I could see what it would like to come up with. And we're like, oh yeah, that's what I dreamt. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's like I said, it's a neat concept. So, I would probably try it. Like I said, because I already had that long dream I had. That's the only one I would pop up just to see what it'd come up and see. But other than that, I'm standoffish from all that stuff.
Yeah, thanks, but no thanks. Too much technology in your brain is kind of a bad thing at some point. And I'm with you. I'm kind of curious what'll come out of this, but I also kind of have that idea that right now that all the hallucinations and the weird stuff, I don't know, man. I'm in between, but since I can't build it, because I'm not that technically inclined. Maybe somebody else is going to. So let me know if one of you guys end up building this, and I'll help you boost your YouTube channel. But fire stuff. What else you got, Kelly?
That's it, man. That's all I got for tonight. I just want to throw some of that stuff in there. Just beware of they're already tapping into people's dreams. It's all about, like I said, it's all about controlling the mind of the masses. So they're trying to control and influence and stuff in a certain direction. Especially even times like this is what's going on. So who knows? Anyway, man, you guys be good to yourself and to others, and you take it easy.
And you as well. Appreciate the call. Tell Michelle we said hi, and have a great night. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too. Kelly in Colorado. You know him, you love him. Good friend for a long time. And just a shout out Kelly. Sweet says, Kelly had a podcast. I'd listen to that. And he did actually. He had a show a long time ago. I think before I did. He was doing YouTube streams or maybe Facebook streams, I think, in a Facebook group. Anyway, but yeah, Kelly, I don't want to say our oldest friend because it sounds like he's an old man. He's not. But basically, he's the first guy that called and then called back. And many of you have been here since the very beginning. But he was one of the first that called and then literally called back. And he's just been calling ever since. I got to meet him and his lovely wife, Michelle, and their beautiful dog, Isis, rest in peace, is such a sweet little puppy, when they were here in Vegas. So very nice people and every bit as smart and interesting as you would expect them to be because, hey, troubled minds, right? We got a knack for finding amazing people. Thank you for the call, Kelly. Always a pleasure. We're taking your calls tonight. I'm calling this a viral dream. Now imagine back to that TikTok sequence, like I said. Imagine the first dream to go viral. What does that look like? Suddenly everybody else is chasing that because, whoever that is gets fortune and fame or whatever. The algorithm picks it up. Everybody's watching it. They're like, did you see this dream? OMG, whatever, right? But when this sort of proliferates out into the zeitgeist, onto YouTube and all these other platforms, TikTok and everything else, you think we're going to see patterns? That's the question tonight. James, got anything on that? Or we got a couple minutes if you got anything. If not, I always do.
Yeah, sorry, you caught me drinking some water there just now. I really wondered, Kelly brought up something, great call from Kelly, that I really am curious about. And you brought it up as well. When it comes to time dilation in dreams, would that time, that extended or shortened time that you experience in a dream, would that translate exactly to these recordings? In other words, if you were only asleep for 2 hours, but you had a dream where you lived a month, would that still translate to that? Would that still make that? I'm really curious about that level of recreation there. Because, again, depending on, I don't know, how well it interprets what you say, and or if we go futuristic, depending on how what it picks up from your mind through whatever sensors it has or whatever. I'm curious if it would pick up these things, these time differences or not.
Yeah, it's a fascinating thing. And I think all this is going to start to become something because eventually right now it's just us describing it, so if you describe 2 minutes, it's going to be a really short thing or whatever. But eventually I think that question will be answered and we'll be able to see, like I was talking to Kelly there, maybe you press play on the dream and it's a month long. Like you have to sit there and like listen and watch a month long of your dream. I mean, that would just be next level insanity. It's wild. Yeah. I don't know. No. As usual, no conclusions on this. It's just wild ideas. And dreams are always fascinating because we're still trying to figure out what the hell they mean. And, the dream journals and all these things. And there are people that do dream journals still. And imagine this. So Kelly said that he lost his dream journal when he was young. He was like 10, but he was dream journaling, writing his dreams down, eventually hoping to make them into a screenplay or something, right? Well, imagine if somebody found Kelly's dream journal from all those years ago and then started reading his journal into this machine. What does that look like? And how bizarre does it get? Like I was describing earlier, does dreaming in a different era, is it different than dreaming now? Lots of things on my mind. Love to hear your thoughts. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. Be right back. More on the way. Nobody on the line if you want to jump in here. Everybody's welcome. Don't go anywhere.
In a cryogenic slumber, lost in the lunar night, your face a faded number among the stars so bright. Dreams of forgotten echoes, waiting for time's command. Curtains of gray and sorrow, the lonely lunar sand. Below the moonlit skies of the love we tried, silent by your where ancient souls reside, suspended in a story, kept in the cold dark tide. Our futures in the making, in silver-etched domain, hearts kept in silent aching till we meet once again. sky. Of the love we tried. Frozen time we're resting, waiting for dawn's embrace. Whispers of love confessing in this forgotten place. We are awakened below the moonlit sky. To the fragments of the love we tried. With the morning glow, and the light will come to know. We are awakened below the moonlit sky. Hold on to the fragments of the love we tried. In the depths of lunar silence, our destinies intertwined. Memories kept so vibrant in the vacuum deep in mine. The tale of cosmic yearning across the astral sea, and the fires of hope still burning for when we finally breathe free.
Indeed. I was rolling around today with the tunes in my car on a CD. It passes the car test, by the way. Some of the hi-fi music here is crazy. We got MJ coming up. Derek, I saw your message. Top of the hour is totally cool. And your calls as well. What do you guys think? This is a weird one, as usual, but this is technology that's quickly encroaching on not just who we are, but our consciousness together and, you know, the collective consciousness. What do we do with it? Here we go. Troubled Minds happening right about now. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, D-Live, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting. And, of course, 88.4 FM, Auckland, New Zealand. Tonight, where's my blurb? What if dreams aren't just fragments of memory, but portals, signals, or even simulations waiting to be tuned? Could machines decode prophecy, resurrect minds, or manipulate the subconscious with symbols alone? And of course, that conversation begins with this wild new concept of a dream journal. Now, the dream journal itself is just sort of a new technological take on the old school dream journal. You would wake up, the dream is fresh in your mind, you would write it down so you don't forget. And I think that aspect has a powerful influence on your further dreaming. Conceptually, I'm not an expert, just thinking about it, you're sort of training yourself to write these things down immediately when they're fresh, but then also when you revisit them, it jogs some things that maybe you didn't initially immediately remember. So you're sort of putting the pieces together as you go, but without a reference point, the journal itself, like me, I don't remember hardly any dreams whatsoever. But if I start practicing, I'd imagine I would. But anyway, so the dream journal part of this is this thing called Dream Recorder. It's a machine. It's an open source machine, costs you about $500 to make, approximately. It's built on a Raspberry Pi and it uses ChatGPT and some other stuff. And it's weird, but it's also tantalizing because it will create from your dream journal. You wake up, you speak to this thing. It will create a low res video of what your dream is, how you described it. And if you can see the thing here, the little graphic, it's spinning around. That's what the device looks like. You plug it in, you charge it, all the stuff. It's got a speaker on it, of course, so you can speak into it. Not a microphone, not a speaker. And there you go. There's there's mushrooms and there's Pegasus style horses and all manner of weird stuff running around in this, sort of dream blurb they use in the ad. And the interesting thing is they're not selling it. They're not actually selling this thing. They've created it, and then you have to buy the parts and build it yourself. So there's no buy this and they'll send it to you. You have to build it. Weird, right? This is incredible to me because this is what the next level of technology looks like. People are building things that have not yet been built, and not even selling them. They're like, well, here's the stuff. Here's the information. Go build it yourself. Get off your lazy ass and go build this, and go dream journal and share it with the rest of us. Wild, right? But the question really becomes, and let me just intro this real quick because this is the most important part of the show tonight. I am calling it a viral dream, the prophetic signal problem. And this is it. So if scale of recording dreams and uploading them to YouTube, would it be let's say, the scale transforming coincidence into possible pattern recognition? Meaning, if you had a prophetic dream on Tuesday that came true next Friday, that's weird. It's an anomalous thing. And you're like, wow, that's spooky. But imagine if 1,000 other people had the same dream on Tuesday as well. Like they're tuned into some data stream that's in the dream realm that's kind of floating by us. And we start recognizing those patterns with the data as we start collecting it. I don't know, just as a question. So, and this other thing too, right? If you're forecasting through dreams in this capacity, the prophetic version of it, what if it's right sometimes? Is that enough to act? Because of course it's going to be wrong sometimes too. And how does this get weaponized? So basically this, would you want to know if your dreams were predicting real events? What if someone else's dream predicted something about your life? See how spooky this gets? Yeah, love to hear your thoughts. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. James, anything you got? And then we'll go to MJ. You got as much time as you need, MJ. Thanks for being patient.
Just that, yeah, you're right about the prediction stuff. I mean, think of all the times where you've heard predictions from famous figures, and either they're so vague that they could be made to fit almost any major event in the world, or they just don't happen the way that they're expected to happen. And of course, to me, that always makes me wonder, is it happening? Are these predictions about our world, or are they about some other version? Going to the idea of a multiversal reality. Are they predictions for somewhere else? So could they still be useful here, but just in different ways, maybe not in the way that we expect? So that's where my mind always goes at that, because there's just been so many over time, people that have thought they've known the future, but I think it's always hard to do that because the future is always changing.
As Master Yoda said, always in motion, the future is. He's the best, James. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. MJ in Virginia. What's up, brother? Welcome back to the joint. Like I said, I owe you one, man. We cut you off last time. You stayed up late with us, so we didn't get you on the show. How you doing tonight? Welcome to the joint. What do you know about this dream journal stuff, and would you try this? Go right ahead, sir.
As far as the dream journal stuff, some of that I've already done. You have a dream, you get up and you write it down, type of thing. But I'm talking Elon Musk with a USB port in your head, and then you have a little chip you put in it, and you can pull that out and stick it in your computer and watch what you dreamt about. I'm going to take a step further. Let's just say you're proficient at what you're doing, and you can go into the past consciously and look through somebody's eyes and see what they've done. Let's say it's a murderer. They're looking for this guy that's been killed, serial killer. Where is he? And you are clever enough, talented enough that you can find this person and look through their eyes in the present and see what landmarks or anything's around them so they know where the person is. Now, you're talking about dreaming, precognitive dreams. Since you've been working on this, you might have a dream about what he's getting ready to do. And again, you're going to have landmarks and, other things around that might indicate where he's going to be or who it's going to be, because he's thinking about these things. You see, he's planning this stuff out. He's got an address. He's got a woman or a man that he's going to attack and kill. So when you talk about this, the applications are unlimited as far as that's concerned, because I'm pretty sure Elon Musk would want to probably take it there.
Yeah, that's Minority Report. That's literally from Philip K. Dick and that movie, if you've ever seen it, with Tom Cruise in it, with the precogs. And I mean, this is pre-crime. And then the bizarre part becomes, so let's say that 10,000 people have the same dream. And it's like widely reported, makes the news. And it's, you know, something like that, where they dream that, you know, you're the guy or I'm the guy or whatever it is, right? Is that enough to act on? That becomes that next question. So you're like detained for questioning, maybe even incarcerated while they wait because, you know, they're expecting you to do something horrible because 10,000 people had a dream about you doing something horrible. You see what I mean? Like this is the problematic part of that. And this is where this heads eventually. You're right.
Well, when you talk about that, we can do this naturally because I've done some of this. We can do it naturally, but what they're looking at this point, keeping records of it, recording it and having it for future use, you see. And if a lot of people are having that dream, that means that the person, let's say one person, is talented enough, he's using the other people, their brains as routers to locate what's going on. And, you know, where the person is, or they're getting, 1,000 recordings of the same thing. But somewhere along the line, it's like the drones. There's a lead drone, and then you have all the drones that follow. I would put it in that respect. And if you have it all going on, also, you would have different views of it coming from different directions and get like a 3D or 4D recording of everything. Like you can back it up and move it forward to see what they're doing, like they do with some of the game stuff now. It's like, 4 or 5D or, how deep it goes. But they're able to take these people, unless they are in it, but you have to have a lead person, and then they're all seeing all this stuff. So now they have this full picture of the room, the murder, things of this nature. And Kane, come on. Oh, it's my cat. One of them.
Sit, kitty, sit.
And
sit, kitty, sit. Which the cats never do what you want them to do.
No, they
anyway,
tell me to sit.
Exactly.
But you have all this going on. So to me, it's all possible. It's just the technology or who's going to do it type of thing. So let's say you can go into the past, or you can, and look through somebody's eyes, which I've done that. Or you can astral project through your third eye across country or around the world to see what's going on right now, like in the present time. My feeling is they're going to take it that far. I don't think they're going to stop. There's nothing they're going to stop at.
Yeah, that acceleration suggests it. I mean, the fact that this is a thing now, and it's very crude. This tool is very crude. It's a facsimile of a hazy dream that you described to this machine. So that's the first step, like you said. But this will go to the ends. This will go to invasive procedures. This will go to Neuralinks. This will go to actually live streaming people's dreams, as we were describing, as Daryl said smartly earlier. I mean, this is tantalizing, awesome, and also kind of terrifying because most of us can't control our dreams. And what if you have like the most, as Shane said too, the most messed up dream ever? That like you're like, wow, where did that come from? That was so bizarre. And then the cops show up at your door. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like, ooh. Ooh.
What were you thinking about doing?
Seriously.
Well, you have all that going on, and I've done precognitive dreams, and then I've lived the dream. You actually, you go into your own future, and then I actually was in the spot where I dreamt about. You see, so you have that reaction to it. But then you're going to have trained remote viewers as they're consciously remote viewing someplace. I'll give them coordinates of something. Maybe it's a Russian base or who knows what it is. And they can infiltrate it. And then once they locate it, then they can astral project the third eye into the room because they can't control any of that, And then they're hooked in to it visually with this little USB port in your head. And you're plugged into those little wires plugged in, and it's over here going to the monitors, and they can see in real time through you what's going on, and they can figure out stuff a lot faster. But if we're doing it and then somebody else is doing it to us,
Yeah, which is, again, so many problematic parts of this. Do you think it is possible to tune into that prophetic signal? Like eventually, let's say we start doing this, even in the rudimentary, crude device that this is, and we start, like recognizing that on Tuesday nights or something, some weird coincidence that we start having similar dreams at scale that's kind of touching up against this prophetic signal dream. You think it's possible to kind of tune that in eventually, and then maybe, I don't know, like have a tuning fork or some frequency as we sleep that tunes us closer to that, and we all just start dreaming the future collectively? You think something like that's possible?
Yeah. What the ET or military does is they can call you out at any one time, or they've already got the wavelength to my brain, your brain, different wavelengths, call you out to go see something up in the sky. Now, just say they did a mass calling out of somebody or a mass dream, and it connected to 1,000 people, 2,000 people's brains on a Tuesday night, and they all had the same dream, or they all went outside to see whatever they were supposed to see. So I think what they do right now is they do it on a singular basis because they can control that. They haven't gotten to the point where they can do like a mass dream or mass hysteria. You see, we're doing it right now through suggestions and repetitive suggestions is what it really is. And at a point, that frequency is already out there. They would have to attune to your frequency, because our little brains are different from one another. And they would have to do it on a multiple scale and with people, and maybe they saw the same thing or they had the same dream, just as an experiment to see what they would do later.
Yeah, that makes sense. And again, they've been working on this stuff forever, which is the weird part is that, I mean, how do you weaponize a dream would become sort of the weird part of it in a military aspect. I'm sure that's been on the docket for MK Ultra and some of the other stuff that we don't, that they don't teach in history class type of stuff. But beyond that, like, how would you do it in 2025 now with this technology? I think we're sort of maybe bumping up against something that's maybe a little more magical than we ever dreamed, because that dream realm itself is there's so much there. There's just so much there, and so much information comes out of it that I do wonder if that's maybe the true signal that we're supposed to be paying attention to as part of this, as had long been said by many people. Shout out Night Stalker, he's coming up next at the top of the hour too. But I mean, that maybe this is the deal. Maybe this is what we're supposed to be doing, tuning into that prophetic signal. And then maybe they know this. I don't know. Like, this gets complicated as hell, because the more you start breaking it down and thinking about what the future of this looks like through Neuralink and the rest of that stuff, 4K level video dreams, it's like I said, exhilarating and terrifying. How weird does it get? And do you think we're there now? We just don't know it, or if not, do you think it's within 5 years that this type of thing is going to be true 4K 360-degree dreams, downloadable and watchable on your phone? What do you think?
As far as that's concerned, let's say we all had the same dream, but because we're all in living consciousness, we all grew up a certain way, or we have our own perspectives. So we're going to look at the one dream a little differently, all of us. We're not going to do the exact same dream. It's not going to be a drone kind of thing. And they are aware of that. If they can call people out to go see stuff up in the sky, and you're controlled by it, they've already got that. It's how are you going to take it and get multiple people in on it? I think that's a much harder deal, because we're too independent in our thinking, and we're too independent in our dreams, because we're going to interpret it a different way, or maybe you can't interpret it because you're not used to seeing this stuff. And it's like, you have to have quite a few of them to get, I've been there, I've done that. Okay, that means that type of thing. So they've already got an idea of it. And I think my feeling is they already know where that spot is in your brain to do all this. But to collectively get everybody on the same page, I think that's a much harder thing to do. And to get, unless the people are just dead as a doornail in their brain and you can just control them to know what. But I think that's a harder thing to do. But I think they already know it. I mean, if they're able to call you out and go see stuff, then they've already been working this on for a very long time. And so you're going to have a dream, and it's like we're entering somebody else's dream and talking to them. That would be that you can do that even though you're at this frequency, or you're out there consciously in your dreams, moving around, looking at it, and you're in your head. It's like you're awake, but because you're in your dreams, you're basically kind of an out of body, and you're able to look at this consciously and you know, think, decisive stuff when you're dreaming, and you can go to somebody else and start talking to them. They don't know you're there, but you're talking to them. So it goes through their high self down to them. And that's another thing, being able to go out and talk to somebody's high self and make a suggestion so it filters down to the high self to them consciously, physically, in the living life, and they come up with this profound idea about what's going on, you see. So you can pass around information that way, and that's espionage.
Yeah, that's what this becomes. This becomes remote viewing level spying, or that type of astral body stuff. I mean, this gets into very MK Ultra as we've been describing tonight. And if you can, lucid dream to the level where you could maybe get closer to that signal. I keep talking signal to noise ratio in regard to prophecy. Then, and it's real, again, assuming it's real, as usual, all the disclaimers, all the stuff. Like, if you don't believe that, that's fine. To me, like as I've always said, the universe doesn't give a crap what I think about it and what functions. The universe also, no offense, doesn't give a crap what you or anybody else thinks about it. It just does what it does. And we're here trying to figure it out together, is my point. So regarding us being in our dreams, do you think there are people that get closer to this? Like Shane said earlier, like Edgar Casey, like they called him the sleeping prophet. You think he was tuned into something, and you can teach yourself to become this, to become an actual prophet in 2025 through technology now?
Yeah, you could. Edgar Casey was able to. You got to be able to let go. You got to let go of everything around you. When you're doing this, you're in a different world. You're in a different frame of mind. All kinds of stuff. And you can do it, but you have to practice. Some people aren't going to be as practiced because they're not attuned to it. Other people are. It's just they're closer to it because they're. I'm going to say, I don't like the word, but they're kind of flaky and they just don't have grounding. And some people are just too grounded. They just, I don't believe in that. Okay, fine. You're never going to get it. But yeah, absolutely. He would go to sleep, and actually I think they tried to film him or take pictures of it. And he was actually tethered to his body, but he was out of body, just above his body. Is what sometimes would happen. So yeah, you can do this different ways. But yeah, in 2025, absolutely. There's people around that right now would do that.
Okay. And I can buy that just because of the who knows what kind of signals you can tap into, especially in your dreams. Sort of we separate from ourselves, at least conceptually, and then maybe are able to kind of tune into that stuff. It makes a lot of sense to me that stuff is possible. Regarding this, are you willing to try this? Is this something you're like, this is kind of cool? I imagine if you had one right now in your lap, would you sort of dream journal it tomorrow to see if it would crank out something accurate? Or are you like, hell no on this?
Oh, no, I'd try it. I'd absolutely try it. What I've always wanted to be able to do, well, I had a dream a long time ago, years ago. And I kept thinking to myself, why can't I just project through my third eye up on a white wall or a movie screen kind of thing you pull down, and the person sitting next to me can watch their own reading. Every once in a while you get somebody that's just, no, it's not me, not me. It's like, okay, you watch it and you interpret. I had a dream where those light things that go around in a circle, and there's 4 different light or colored lenses, and it shines up on your Christmas tree.
Yeah. It's like the new decoration, like the kind of laser lights or whatever, like the LEDs and whatnot. Yeah, definitely.
No, it's just a disc, and it just goes around a circle and has a light on it, and there's different lenses in a circle, like a pie, and it's like blue and yellow and green and red, this type of thing, and it just goes in circle, and it sort of lights up the tree. These are the old, back in the early 60s.
You're killing me,
and
Jay.
I was shown that.
I don't remember
it would project
that.
up on the wall. So I'm sitting there watching that, and it's always been my idea, like scrying. When you're scrying, actually the information's coming through the back of your head, through your pineal gland, through your third eye, and you're watching, but it's not coming to you, it's being projected through you. So when you scry and stuff, you're picking up images from, or activity from another realm, what you're looking at. So it's not in the mirror, it's actually coming through you. That's my theory of it. And because I've done some scrying, and it's like I look at the water forever. It's like, oh, come on. And then all of a sudden, I just relaxed my brain like I was going to go do a reading, and suddenly I can see something. There's the water gets a mist on it. It starts raising up, and then it's like you look through and you can see something moving around in there. So my feeling is it's projected through your brain. That's how it is. For me, all of it. But you have to have that connection of dimensional stuff.
Yeah.
So you're able to project all of this through that. So 100%, you could be an Edgar Casey. It's just how far are you willing to let go and get the information and make it a practiced habit. You practice it to sharpen your skills. And people right now, they don't have time for that. It's you got to be sort of in the business of doing that, readings and whatnot, to allow some of that to happen.
Yeah, I would think so. And I love the idea of getting a reading from somebody and having your third eye projected on the wall or on a screen. That's amazing. It would be sort of the inverse dreaming of kind of tuning into their aura, their chakras, or all the above, whatever that works. I mean, and I just mean not the esoteric version of it, whatever that science looks like, just to describe it. So we're sort of all inclusive here. But yeah, I don't know. It's this stuff is complicated. And as the technology develops, it's like I said, kind of exciting. Does this type of stuff excite you that maybe soon that level of technology, as you described, might be possible? Is this exciting, or is this, again, how Luddite are you, MJ?
If they had a place where you could actually work on it and practice it, that I'd go do. And I don't want a USB port stuck in the side of my head, but it would further, because I've always had these ideas long time ago of being able to do that, and like I said, if you're projecting through your third eye, you're also scrying. This is what a part of scrying is, to be able to project the image, to see it in front of you, or like a bowl of water or the sky or a window or something. And I've had this stuff happen haphazardly, is what it really is. But yeah, I'd be into it.
And as I'm saying here, even as a guy who's a little distrustful of this type of technology in your brain, I'm also kind of into it. I'm very curious about this, what might look like in the next 5 years or whatever. Just about out of time. Final thought, and I'll play the music, and you're the best, brother. Appreciate you very much. Like I said, I owe you another one because we cut you off the other time, and I'm sorry about that. But go ahead. What do you suggest? Well, go ahead. Final thought.
Well, if anybody wants to do that, they have to start practicing strong meditations. And when they're meditating, they've got to let their bodies go and lose feeling of the body. The brain stays awake. It's like you're starting to do an out-of-body, practicing it, but you don't go anywhere. And you totally let the body relax to the point where you can't feel it, but yet your mind's 100% active, and then you go from there.
Amen. Appreciate the advice. Always a pleasure. Thanks for staying up late with us. Thanks for being a good friend for such a long time. Thank you. Great call. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great night.
You too, Michael. Take care.
You're the best. MJ in Virginia. Be right back. More Troubled Minds coming up. We got Derek the Night Stalker. We got more from James and your calls as well. Shout out Elias on the chat. I found some amazing effects with remote viewing techniques. Indeed. More Troubled Minds coming up. Also, this is the midnight ritual, Eastern Standard Time.
In the heart of the steel jungle, machines hum a digital rumble. Gates of cyber open wide, plug us into cosmic tide. Feeling sparks across the sky. As knowledge flies, we're amplified. Stargate, Stargate, Stargate. Open to the arcane fate. In this massive data center dome, eternal truth stop to roam. Circuits flicker with endless fire.
data streams that never tire, unified by electric dreams, unlock the truth in silver beams. Stargate, 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 open to the arcane fate. Synthesize what we seek and find, infinite paths in the network mind, answers buzz from star to core, knowledge whispers evermore. Stargate, 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 open to the arcane fate. In realms where the data streams collide, imagination and logic side by side. In the labyrinth of digital maze, we transcend our earthly ways. Tapping keys like cosmic tones, spikes become our whispered homes. Stargate, 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 open to the arcane fate.
Right? Right? What's up? Hope you guys are well tonight. Thanks for staying up late, hanging out with us, and considering wild ideas that many would not. Tonight, well, I'll get back to that in a second here. Who'd I miss? If I missed anybody, say hi in the chat. I'll say hi back. I try and be as social as possible and then trim it out to make me look like the aloof talk show host. How about that? You can have it both ways, can't you? Have your cake and eat it too. What's up, Ricky? Daryl, thanks for the call earlier, Daryl. You're amazing. What's up, Gaston? Eric, how you doing? Welcome back. APOC Sweets, Joe in Florida, Jeff in Wisco, Roving Fungus, MJ, fantastic call as well. You're the best. Dawn, Lily, and Jorge, I see you guys over there on Discord. If I missed anybody anywhere else, just say hi. What's up, Barry the Cat? Ricky's here. What's up, Nick? How you doing? What's up, buddy? Good evening, guys. Elias over there on X listening. Again, said I found some amazing effects with remote viewing techniques. I like that. Again, people that try this stuff is good. This stuff is good. It's whether you believe it or not, right? Like, this is the type of stuff, how you prove it, people doing it and kind of pressing forward the data points. And this is my experience. And, at some point you can say experience is not data. Sure. Fine. But what happens when everybody's doing it and it's working for everybody? Suddenly this becomes something else. What's up, RC? I see there. Good evening, guys. What's going on? Gotta go. Thanks for hanging out with us there. Independent Many United. How you doing? Good evening, guys. Lily in Australia. If I missed anybody, like I said, just say hi. I'll say hi back. What's up, Night to the Storm? Jason's here. What's up, Gordo Puff? I see you. Tan Lines. What's up, Y? Hiker. Thanks again for Hiker always pinning the stuff, and also Sweets, special thanks. The Dream Team, as I called them last night on Algo Stream, always pinning stuff. I appreciate that a lot. And we got Derek the Night Stalker coming up, and your calls as well. And if I missed you, I'm sorry about that. Doing my best to keep up, but I'm only human after all. Even though there are rumors that I'm a Lovecraftian tentacled robotic entity, those rumors are false. There we go. Troubled minds happening. Yeah. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, D-Live, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting. And, of course, 88.4 FM Auckland, New Zealand. Tonight we're talking about a viral dream, the prophetic signal problem. Now, we started with this wild idea of this dream recorder, the magical bedside open source device that plays your dreams back as cinematic reels. Links are in the description if you don't believe me. Now, this thing currently does not hook into your head as yet. You wake up and very much you would do like a dream journal. Instead of dream journaling, writing it down, you speak into this device. Okay, you tell it, I dreamed about this, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. You tell it about your dream. Now, what it'll do is ChatGPT will, listen, transcribe it, send it over to this other AI system, which creates videos, which is called, and all the stuff is here. It's called Luma Labs. and it's all open source. You can find it on GitHub. It costs a little less than $500 here in the States. I think they have it on British sterling or whatever. I don't know. Like they have a weird monetary aspect because it's those weird foreigners that are making stuff. Those weird foreigners, America. I'm just kidding, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so I did the quick math. It's about $500 to build this thing, and it seems kind of cool. It seems kind of cool. So you talk to it, tell it about your dream, and then it creates a short video, low res, because of course, how could you high res a dream without Neuralink, which is a whole nother weird aspect to this. But low res creates a video reel of your dream as you described it. Cool, right? Kind of cool. But what happens when everybody starts doing this and putting this stuff up on YouTube? And what about prophetic dreams? And what about data sets and quote, magic in the noise? Shout out to Sasha over there and David. And imagine it this way. If we get enough of this type of stuff, and this is the very first iteration of this, but dream journaling becomes like a viral thing on YouTube or TikTok or whatever, and people start putting their actual dreams up there, suddenly it becomes data. And if it becomes data, can we tune into some signal where we recognize how to replicate across the population a prophetic dream? That's what's on my mind tonight. Just normal troubled mind stuff on a Tuesday night because, you know. James, anything on that real quick? And we'll go to Derek. As you know, he's clocked out. So if you can, brevity is your superpower. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I am interested in this technology. I don't think I wanted to try it myself, but I do wonder about the possibilities of just all the connections you can make. I mentioned in the chat there, I shared a picture. This all reminds me of these ports, these plug-in points on the back of the neck of certain characters in the Ghost in the Shell anime, where they have computerized brains, but they have these ports that you can plug in a wire and connect yourself to other people and or other devices. So it really does open up a lot of possibilities there.
Yeah, here we go. Strap in. The future's so bright. You got to plug in. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord like a troubledminds.org. Let's go to Derek, the Nice Stalker. Derek in Massachusetts. What's up?
Yep.
Welcome to the joint. How you doing tonight? Thanks for, again, dealing with the chaotic schedules of your work and this and the whole thing. Welcome to the thing. And what's on your mind, my man? Go right ahead.
Going on, British? Can you hear me and everything? What's that?
Yeah, loud and clear. Internet? Yep, you sound great.
Okay, beautiful. If I start lagging, just let me know quick, and I'll try the phone again. But okay so far tonight.
Sure.
Wild shows, yeah. Great calls, everybody.
Yeah, this is a weird one, right? First, would you try this? The quick question: would you try this?
As of now, yes. Once they can plug it into our brain, and I'm not sure, or at least I'm not going to live stream it. I'm going to maybe you can upload it afterwards, but live streaming is tough. I would do more of the selfie version where you can curate it and maybe take 10 takes and post the best one, But
fair enough.
Just a straight live feed for my brain. I'm not sure if I want that per se. I would want it for myself, but I'm not sure if I want to go be a dream influencer, a dream influencer. But
yeah, there's a T-shirt right there, Dreamfluencer.
Real quick, just for the dream ads, because you mentioned it before. This is interesting to me. From January 2025, from studyfinds.org. Your dreams are for sale and companies are already buying. According to Media Image newly released customer survey focusing on Gen Z and millennials, 54% of Americans aged 18 to 35 report having experienced dreams that appear to be influenced by advertisements or contained ad-like content. Even more striking, 61% of respondents have been having such dreams within the past year, with 38% having them regularly, ranging from daily occurrences to monthly episodes. Conducted by the SurveyMonkey on behalf of the Media Image between January 2nd and January 3rd, 2025. The research included a representative sample of 1,101 American respondents, 18 to 35, with the sample skewed slightly female. The findings are considered reflective of broader perspectives within this age group. So, the thing that kind of struck me with that is that 54% of Americans are able to remember their dreams enough to see ads in them. I'm like you, I can't remember my dreams really at all, especially since I started working overnight. And I've never experienced an ad. So, if I had the recall to remember my dreams and I found an ad, what if 54% remember it? How many aren't remembering it and still getting ads? I feel like That's pretty scary to me.
Yeah. When I finally remember a dream and there's like a McDonald's commercial in my dream, I'm gonna be super pissed. I'm gonna be super pissed.
Exactly. And then we keep bringing up like the Neuralink stuff and trying to plug it into our brain, and that's going to be scary. But do they even really need that right now? Like obviously there's like the sleep studies where you like get hooked up to machines to test for like sleep apnea and that type of stuff. The dream studies, sleep studies that way. But can't your phone kind of track when you get into REM sleep? Like, aren't there apps you can download that's like non-invasive, that aren't hooked up to you at all, but just your phone is on you and it monitors your like heartbeat and like rapid eye movement when you're sleeping and stuff?
Yeah, your watch will do that. Yep, absolutely.
So they can kind of already combine that, like combine it with your heart rate, with when you got into REM sleep, with what you put down in your dream journal and that type of stuff, and they have they have a lot of ingredients to kind of make a representation of your dream already. But for like right now, I'm not as impressed with it right now, just because it seems kind of like remote viewers talking about their remote viewing experience, and it's like, okay, I can believe you, or just anybody talking about their dreams in general, like with like weird stuff. I mean, I like hearing about it to an extent, but I'm not sure if I necessarily completely believe it. Shut Up Rivers, I really believe her. James, I definitely trust you with your dream stuff, whatever. And the calls to call into the show, but just on the whole, online, it's right by a lot of videos of just people seemingly kind of talking out of their south end about stuff that kind of just sound a little woo-woo and just doesn't really resonate with me that well. And just, I mean, this is just kind of the, what's to stop them already right now from just curating the prompt that they put into this thing or whatever. But once we get more of a you can't do that aspect to it, then I'm kind of really riveted in that. I think we'll get more of a prophetic angle to it.
Yeah,
I'm out of breath. I ran in my car. But
yeah.
What do you got? Sorry, prompt me again.
No, you're good. You're good. So in that capacity, I'm with you, because there's a lot of people that just make stuff up, to be perfectly blunt and honest. And again, not to accuse anybody. You know me. I don't like to accuse anybody. I'll believe. Hey, if you got a tale to tell me, you've had an experience, I want to hear about it. Let's talk about it. Let's consider all the ideas. And you're safe here. I'm not doing that. I'm saying that if you go to TikTok, there's just people making stuff up, because the more ridiculous you get, the more clickbait worthy you are, the more notoriety, the more money you make. And then suddenly, right, that becomes sort of the antithetical to what we're talking about. We're talking about like the true, actual prophetic signal, if there is one, and being able to get close to that. And so I think it is possible. And I do believe in some capacity that these prophetic dreams are real, because I can't say I've had one, but I kind of feel like that my dreams are enough for me to recognize that there's a whole ocean out there, that I've had like my boat in that ocean that's like 10 feet off the shore type of stuff. And so to me, I'm like, okay, so for me, fine. Like whatever, like I'm not a prophetic dreamer, but I can very much see how something like that could be happening. And let's say it might even be science. It might even be something like we talk about the zeitgeist, the noosphere, this type of stuff, the ideas in the air flowing through, just being a person. Maybe you're picking up on that subconsciously, and it does manifest prophetically in your dream, and even at scale. Like I said, how would we know if you had a prophetic dream tonight, and everybody on the block did too, but we don't talk to each other about it, and there's no data associated with it, but then everybody just thinks you're crazy when you mention that you had sort of a prophetic dream, It's wild.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it could be kind of like a technology 2025 version of kind of the ancients who believe that reality is Maya and that the dream is the real world. Kind of the thing we talk about, where at the beginning of every day they get together in a big circle and they kind of just explain what they had in their dreams, and they notice similar patterns. Oh, you saw a bluebird? Oh, you walked through this location? Me too. I wonder what this means. To kind of get shared imagery to kind of see what the dreams are telling them. So that would be, if this kind of goes viral, people start doing this, that could be a equivalent of that, kind of seeing like what the real thing is. But as far as what we're tuning into, I have to go back and listen to this, because I keep butchering it when trying to bring it up. But I helped Joe guest host a show like a few years ago on Online in the Void, and he had a lucid dream, or a NGO DMT person, a person who studies DMT that is made by the brain naturally, and like focused on dreams. And again, I can't really remember, but like essentially there was some kind of study or some kind of thing they were doing where they were, again, this is probably wrong, but like trying to put images into the brain, and they were noticing these rapid eye movements that were happening to the receiver of the images. And he compared it to the rapid eye movements that are being seen during REM sleep and stuff, obviously. So my question to him was, well, does that mean that we're being sent images by something? Are we picking up images during REM sleep the same way somebody in these experiments are picking up images sent by the machine or whatever? And he's like, oh, great question. I'm like, yes, basically, I think so. And another dumb version of that, but I think potentially that's what we're doing. We are tapping into some type of signal or whatever. And Kelly brought up the Batman thing. Or the Dark Knight, where he's tapping into everybody's phones to get like a sensor of everything. So he's a picture of the entire of all of Gotham. And so what if it's like we kind of lay out the equivalent of all of our images of our dreams, just like of our little corner, our little pixel of dream, and we put it up there, and we realize that individually it means nothing. It's like you have some kind of like black square, you have a red like triangle, you have a hexagon here or whatever. But then when we put all of them together, it's like a puzzle piece, and it reveals this message or this giant picture or whatever. And it's like so each dream is like a separate pixel, and then when combined together, it forms the total image on the screen, And then that was like, oh wow, like there's a message there, or whatever.
Yeah, or even, but the bizarre part too is if you can draw that out of dreams, can that be deciphered through some sort of AI cipher cracking stuff? I mean, like this is the level of the next thing that we're moving to. Is it Enochian cipher, as we talked about recently? You know what I mean? These as you say, I get the news from what's the only reliable source, the cryptic symbolism in my dream, something like that is the thing, which is hilarious. Yeah, hilarious and awesome. But imagine if the cryptic symbolism, those ciphers are decodable, like when we could crack that. And let's say we have the technology now. This is, I'm telling you, I think it's about to get spooky. Things are about to get spooky, in my opinion. And this is very Terrence McKenna, right? Things are going to get weirder and weirder and weirder and weirder.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, there's the symbols and stuff that we can't, like exactly what you're saying, that we can't decipher, that AI will help us with. But what if one aspect of the deciphering process is just putting all of the images together to get the full image? Like, what if we all have a little pixel of the letter A? But that's pretty impossible to decipher if you have just a little like corner of the letter A on your screen or whatever. If you Microsoft Word, you print out A and put it into size 10,000 font and start printing it out, whatever, and then each person's dream is one piece of paper. And you don't. But if you only have that one piece of paper, you'll have no clue that you have the letter A. But all of a sudden, everybody puts that pieces together. A big A shows up, and like, oh wow, it's an A, or what if it's equivalent of a message or some kind of image of a face or whatever. With the prophecy thing, the plot, like in Dune Prophecy, the show that came out last year, that takes place like 10,000 years before Dune, they're following around the Bene Gesserit, and like the main antagonist of the show, they're trying to essentially like find who's causing whatever. So the Bene Gesserit school is like training the younger girls who are going to be Bene Gesserit. It's basically like a nun school, and they're all like, to be in the school, you basically have to have kind of an extra sight. And then they train that sight to come out so you can be used as a seer professionally. Pretty much that's what the Bene Gesserit do. And then they use the spice to kind of instill a vision. So it's kind of a waking dream or whatever. But in order to find the location of this person, they get everybody in a big circle, all the students, and they all give them a little bit of spice or a little bit of whatever, get them into this dreamlike state, and then basically have them all do automatic writing to see like which kind of has the same. What, like, is there a shared image that everybody's drawing that can kind of give us a clue as to where this person is? And then it gets crazy, and they start drawing big black dots. And like, oh no, it's the void or whatever. They're all start dreaming the void. But a kind of a similar thing where they're using a shared dream experience, shared vision experience to kind of glean prophecy. The show's called Dune Prophecy, whatever. And in Twin Peaks, like where that cryptic symbolism, my dream thing is, and again, I haven't finished it, but he like uses his dreams, and he dream logs with like a recorder and stuff in order to like solve cases. He's like a detective trying to solve a crime, and he uses information picked up in his dreams, even like a protocol of like almost to find synchronicity, like throws rocks, and like a way to like basically like MJ was saying, to like scry a way to like narrow down suspects based on a product, like a process that he got from his dreams and everything, which I think is just cool. But it's kind of like this before the ChatGPT stuff. There's one YouTuber I was following in the 2019. Shut up, Panero's Mind. He's like very, very small. His videos get like 100 views on it. Very, very small, but very cool. He's a guy from Britain, and he was into dreams and stuff. So he was kind of doing this on his own and finding people's dream logs, videos on YouTube, and putting them all together. And I didn't realize that he was doing this until I thought he was just like taking kind of existing montages and just like talking about them. But he was actually going into scouring dream journals, and just watching a bunch of dream journals and finding shared symbolism and making these montages together where all these people are talking about the same thing. And he was focused on Nibiru and like the apocalypse, but people were having dreams of fiery planets coming down. He made like 10 different montages of like 30 people's different dreams, all during the same month period, dreaming about Nibiru coming down. And Nibiru hasn't come down, so obviously it wasn't a prophecy. But I'm into that type of thing. I got a few more things, but I'm rambling. I need a drink.
No, you're good. Or it might be a prophecy as yet to happen. Which
exactly.
which Nibiru is back in the news too.
Is it?
Again, yeah.
Wow.
So they just there's some new science. I'll see if I can dig it out. But where they're describing again an unknown gravity signature, probably a planet. They have new science to suggest that it's not just a kind of an anomaly as has been described, Kuiper belt objects and stuff that's as yet outside the computer model, but that they can almost say certainly. I'll see if I can dig it up. It was this week it popped up and I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. That's back in the news again. And we're not talking about the normal stuff. We're talking about actually there's a planet out there or at least again, remember that the different objects could be planetary, sort of a large Earth sized thing, or it could be a bowling ball sized primordial black hole too. So I mean, like who really knows? Because they're dealing with gravity signatures. There's no like direct sighting of it. However, it is back in the news. I'll see if I can find it. But funny you brought it up, and I was like, well, there's your synchromystic stuff. Just you're tuned in, and you don't even know it. It's so crazy.
Yeah, that's weird. I just find it interesting. Like, I didn't even realize he was like doing. I mean, it's a lot of work for him, kind of doing the same thing. But now, if we're kind of collectively doing that as a society, like during college, one of my friends joked, just before I was into dreams in this way, but I was getting into consciousness and that type of stuff. And he was not. He was just a regular person. But he would joke like, "There's nothing more boring than hearing somebody else's dream." And at the time, it was kind of true, and kind of the Americanized thing, like in the woo groups, it's not. It's kind of the opposite. And I'm interested in dreams, but just the average person is not. So we're in a society that's completely deaf to any type of like connective anything with our dreams. We could be dreaming about each other all the time, but we have no clue because we don't journal it, we don't remember it, we don't talk about it, obviously. So some kind of dream influences, dream streamers or whatever happened. Like seems like it definitely could happen, obviously. But I'm wondering if there's dream influences that will pop up from the dream realm. Like people will put in their prompts, and if it's more elaborate, people will use in their Fitbits and their smartphones and everything, their watches to get body reading and stuff. All the possible data they can collect, come up with this with the image with the video afterwards, and kind of the scrying aspect or the kind of the Randonautica synchronicity aspect of it is to see, I wonder what the AI is going to make that I didn't put into the dream. That's what people will kind of latch on to. That's an interesting thing. I wonder where this thing thought of it. Some kind of ghost in the machine, like trickster thing. I wonder what this AI knows. Why I put that in there. But then we start seeing the same kind of image. Like, I didn't put that in the prompt, but it showed up. And I kind of remember it a little bit now that I see it on there. I do remember that actually happened. And then it's like a character. Some like Sandman. We start noticing that there's a Sandman character in our dreams. What's that person that popped up? They didn't even have a line. They just kind of they didn't even say anything. They just are kind of standing there.
I didn't
watching.
Put
that in the prompt. Huh?
Just standing there watching. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't put it in the prompt. I didn't ask it to pop up there. But now that I see it, I do kind of remember him standing there, kind of creeping me out a little bit. That's weird. And then people start noticing, he's popping in my dream. He's popping in my dream. We notice these neuronauts. To quote Sandman, like these dream movers and these dream like people that are dream entities or whatever. And synchronistically, Sandman is season 2 is coming out in a couple of weeks, which will be the last season. But it reminds me of an episode of Buffy, and within Buffy, she gets a lot of. She's a prophetic dreamer. They call her prophecy girl. Is like what they call her. She gets a lot of information from her dreams that end up being true, and they tease characters and stuff that will pop up in later seasons in like earlier season dreams and stuff. Like they RIP Michelle Trachtenberg, who played Dawn. She's the character that came in season 5, but they teased her in a dream early in season 3, which is pretty impressive. But in the end of they did season 4, they had a full arc fighting this like paranormal military group and stuff, and there was a season finale with a big climactic battle. Then they did another weird episode at the end, kind of a coda episode, like a finale, like an extra finale. That's very polarizing within Buffy fans. They think this is really weird. I don't really get this, but like, in order to beat this bad guy, they kind of all had to fuse their essences together. Like the main characters, like your sense of humor, your blah 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 blah, will form this perfect thing that Buffy can use to defeat this thing. But then because they were linked and they were real drained after the fight, essentially the episode is them all falling asleep together in the living room while they're watching a movie and going into all four of them's dreams and following their dreams. And then it's just whatever, it's just regular narratives. They're not really connected, but they all have this guy that pop ups in all their dreams being like, do you want any cheese? And just this random guy with glasses holding up cheese slices. And at the end of the show, they're like, who is that cheese guy? What's up with that? And it's like, I don't know. And it has no impact on the thing, which is a little joke that they tossed in. But what if some kind of influencer like that? Like, why are we all dreaming about this cheese guy? And that could pop up more when we have when we're actually connected. But what if it pops up still with the prompts and we get these kind of like, what if Keck? What if Pepe? What if these like trickster things make themselves known by appearing in all of our dreams once prompted and once in the images? I didn't realize we were so late in the room, but does that make sense?
Yeah, Zozo, Slender Man. I mean, whatever. Like we've talked about that trickster archetype that, again, possibly, conceptually, it depends on, can sort of become what we expect to see from it. And that's not just that goes back to Magonia, right? Jacques Vallée, that whole thing you've brought up in the past with the masks and the entities and we're seeing things that are not the things that they are, and they're presenting to us in human ways that scare the hell out of us. And so, that wouldn't that be wild if suddenly we start dream journaling, creating this thing, and there's this weird Zozo character in all our dreams watching us or something. Yeah. That's so crazy.
And that's the first influencer from the actual, like there's dream influencers who are just influencers who are telling their dreams. But then we get the first dream influencer from the dream space, the first like character who starts to make their presence known. Hey, what's up? And then you start going by. Oh, I had the dream about Bozo, whatever. Oh, that was crazy. Oh, me too. Oh, Bozo dream. Here we go. Like I finally had one. That's kind of the viral game of it. Did you have the Bozo dream? Here's a way to induce a dream with Bozo and stuff. And just like, what if replace Bozo with Cthulhu? Replace Bozo with like Pepe, or replace Bozo with any kind of dream entity in history. And that's kind of a way that like an entity could kind of Noah's arc themselves, send themselves from the dream space into reality and make their presence known. And then we talk about where do ideas come from. So much like the alien from Alien, the Avatar from Avatar, so many of these movie creatures that have influenced people. Like Charlotte Rivers, she has nightmares about the alien from Alien. She doesn't think it's real. I don't think it's real, but just like it's chilling to people. It resonates with people. And a lot of these special effects artists say like, oh, I got that from a dream. I got this design from a dream and stuff. Now, like in the way those designs from dreams influence culture, what if some kind of character, some kind of entity that has like a will can pop up? Like, I don't know, visualizing that thing that Kelly was talking about all the screens showing all the people's dreams, and then all of a sudden in every window, hello, and this weird kind of DMT jester pops up. I'm here, and then I don't know, like clown world in the dream and beating our reality. Sorry, I'm out of time. Thank you.
Great, cool. Yeah, and fantastic as always. You're the best. Appreciate you very much. No, you're good. You don't even love him, Derek the Night Stalker. Please give him a follow. troubledminds.org/friends. Scroll down. It says Night Stalker. It is STOCKER. He does call us from his lunch as the best grocer in the known multiverse. Please give him a follow if you have not. You're hurting my feelings. We're talking dreams tonight. A viral dream, the prophetic signal problem. What do you know about it? More on the way. Don't go anywhere. Be right back.
Crazy colors swirling, got the laughter in the air. Jesters in the night, they weave magic everywhere. Clowns are juggling dreams, wild world is in despair. Nothing's quite as certain when reality's a game. Chaos in the corner, whispers calling out your name. Look around, it's laughter, even when we're feeling pain. You know what you want to be, the There'd be nights like this. Nobody warned me. There'd be nights like this. Nobody warned me. There'd be nights like this. Strange nights, I insist. Strange nights, I insist. Dancing shadows flicker under neon all aglow, while the stage is set for tales that nobody will know. Echoes of the laughter as the lost ones see the show. Life's a playful circus where the chaos takes a bow. Joy and sorrow blending in the rhythm that we vow. Join the ride of madness, it's the only way for love. Nobody warned me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody warned me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody warned me, there'd be nights like this. Strange nights, I insist. Strange nights, I insist. Twists and turns and shadows, laughter in the night. A tapestry of madness, dancing with the light. Fools and fun were woven, chaos in our stride. Embrace the wild, let the laughter be our guide. Nobody warned me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody warned me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody warned me, there'd be nights like this. Strange nights, I insist. Strange nights, I insist. Falling in the rhythms, beats that pound and thrum. A flashing carnival where the misfits come undone. Whirling through the madness with our hearts set to ignite. In the symphony of chaos will remain the shining light. Yeah, nobody warned me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody warned me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody warned me, there'd be nights like this. Strange nights, I insist. Strange nights, I insist.
Double hell yeah. What's up, guys? Hope you're well tonight. If I missed you, just say hi in the chat. I'll say hi back. Jeff and Wisco, how you doing, buddy? Lily, I see you there. What's up, Dawn Sweets? You guys are the best. What's up? I missed the dream song, says Puff. Which dream song? Give me some lyrics from it. See if I can remember it. I'll see if I can delve it out and resurrect it. It's nice to release these as albums now, because now I can kind of clear the queue and we can play some other stuff, because there's a lot of really great songs that have come out of the AI stuff. But yeah, give me some yeah. Oh yeah, I'm making an album. That have I not mentioned enough? I have to make a commercial or just play the damn commercial. There's an album. Buy it, as some of you have. It's got all those songs that we played tonight, plus some other stuff, and it's actually an original by Daring Stranger. That's my band with my buddy AJ Dare, who's super buffed, by the way. Oh my goodness, he showed me a video of him doing some DJ stuff on the beach. I was like, dear God, man, what have you been eating? Anyway, here we go. Troubled Minds happening now. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, D-Live, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting, which, by the way, you can access on troubledminds.org. Just right on the top, there's a black button with yellow text. It says, Listen Live, KUAP DB Las Vegas. And it has 24 hours of actual radio programming you can listen to. James is part of it, many others that have contributed to it. And thank you for that. And yeah, go listen. Make it a thing. I appreciate it very much. And 88.4 FM Auckland, New Zealand. Shout out to our friends down there in New Zealand. And also Jack and Jill, who put the entire thing together and helped us with the reach and making new friends down that way. And it's the whole thing has been just incredible. This journey's been incredible. Just meeting so many great, smart people, talented people, all the rest of the stuff. Like, I don't know, it's like I said, humbling and also enlightening, and it energizes me every day showing up doing this, or every other day, whatever it is. But I wish I could do this 5 nights a week, and I'm still teasing the idea, like 5 nights a week, maybe 2 hours instead of 3 hours. I don't know. Feedback on that is good. But yeah, but there is an album out, so we did release the album with those AI songs. If you're interested in that. Let me get the link here. I got a link somewhere. My goodness gracious. But yeah, please help. So basically the proceeds from this are going to buy a new machine to run Troubled Minds, because my computer is middling 3 years ago, and so it's starting to choke. And so I used to run like 100 tabs or whatever, and now I have to trim it all down because it just doesn't work anymore. It's if you watch the video transitions when we're doing this, it goes slowly and glitches sometimes. Anyway, whatever. So my problem, not yours. But the most requested thing that I've had over the years since we started doing the AI music is, Mike, would you please release the music? I'll buy it. So the music has been released. So definitely, absolutely, it's been released. Let me get the link here and drop in the thing. Did I get it? I think I did. Is that it? Yeah, it's it right there. There's a digital download. It's $15. There's 13 songs on there. An exclusive from Daring Stranger, which is a band of mine that is as yet unreleased. It's the first actual release from that. It's that's public and official. But anyway, so I would appreciate it very much because it does go back into the show and makes all of this better. And you get some sweet tunes. And like I said, it passes the car test. I was driving around today with the CD, the actual CD in my CD player today. Yes, indeed. And it passes the car test. I dig it. I had time today to listen to some of these jams that we listened to tonight. I was like, this will work. This is this will do, pig. Have you guys seen Babe? Anyway, what do you guys know? We're talking dreams tonight as part of this. And the whole point is that the prophetic signal. And just to reiterate that, go follow Night Stalker. Thank you for the call, Derek in Massachusetts, fire stuff. But he's talking about the dream Krungus. Like Krungus is one of those sort of techno cryptids we talked about early on. And the manifestation of an idea, of a trickster, of a those early AI images that kind of created Loab and Krungus. We did shows on all that when it was kind of going around. But it was definitely hitting the zeitgeist hard. And people were talking about these things as if they were, spooky and real. But then how does that manifest as an entity in 2025 or, 2022 or 3, whenever we were talking about that? I don't know. It's complicated, but also when an entity enters the zeitgeist, sometimes they go viral. Remember Slender Man? He's one of those. And so it's strange that it was made up. But the actual question would become, is there that passport to Magonia aspect of Jacques Vallée in that book, talking about a trickster entity that would take on whatever necessary zeitgeist moment it needs to survive and continue spooking us? A whole different thing, except maybe this entity resides in our dreams. Dream Krungus. Shout out Derek, the Night Stalker. Fantastic call. Nobody on the line. If you guys want to jump in here, got about 15 minutes left. If you got a take on this, love to hear your thoughts. It's as usual, it's complicated. And that's the point. That's the whole point of this, is to talk about these ideas in the abstract way, because the zeitgeist is always in motion and things change very quickly. And there's a lot of really doom on our mind recently, if you've been watching the news. So with that said, paying attention to that stuff sort of in the periphery makes a lot of sense to me, which is why I'm here. James, anything on any of that, anything Derek said or anything you want to add? You wanted to elaborate on something earlier. I'm not sure if you got a chance to. We got time now if you need to. Welcome back. Thanks for being patient. Thanks for being the glue of the show. How you doing, brother? Go ahead.
Oh, no problem. I did want to mention too, based on Derek's call there, great call as always, that even before AI started happening, with figures like Slenderman and other figures like that people have found out about online, there have been similar, not the same, but similar figures people have seen in the real world over the years before that were similar to that kind of figure. So again, even when these figures are made up, what gave the person the idea for it? Did they see something else before a post online, or did they get some kind of image, or did they have some kind of dream about it? They think they've forgotten, but maybe they have, but it was still there, and then it got turned into this thing online. But there's been just so many accounts I've heard on shows. I mentioned in the chat there that if you listen to enough shows, you'll find accounts from people, just regular people, not like we've been talking about, not TikTok influencers or whatever, or online influencers or whatever, just regular people, saying, I saw this weird figure, almost like a fae or fairy encounter in my dreams, and then I saw this figure in the real world after the fact, and back and forth like that. So this has been happening before AI even showed up, as far as in the general public's use anyway.
Yeah, and it seems to be, as usual, these things accelerate because recognize it's not necessarily, again, I don't know the answers, but it feels to me, once again, it feels to me like it's not necessarily about things or entities. It's about ideas. And ideas bring about things and entities and experiences as part of it. And that's, that back to the Brian Johnson, that's the weird guy that's trying to live forever, that guy, right? Like he said something that's going to stick with me forever. And he said the most powerful technology is storytelling. And for exactly that reason, you can drop a new spooky bit that resonates with the zeitgeist and will become, the next Jack the Ripper in our minds, in our dreams. And so suddenly you tell the right spooky tale in the right moment, and it's on all of our minds. It's wild how quickly this stuff sort of escalates in the human zeitgeist and our collective psyches. And dare we suggest, as Derek was very smartly saying, in the dream realm as well. Krungus, Loab, some of these techno-cryptids we've talked about, but then also, what if the Hat Man starts appearing in dreams and becomes a zeitgeist phenomenon, like what's his name, the ghost, the primal ghost with the feet, Medjed in Japan, has become a phenomenon over there for reasons unknown. But this is the weird stuff about the human psyche is we're clearly adaptable, but we're also incredibly impressionable. And when these things kind of hit, we take them hook, line, and sinker, don't we? It's an interesting aspect.
Well, yes, but I would say it's more of a circle than one thing or the other necessarily. As you were talking about there, the whole thing starting with maybe ideas. And I'm not saying you're writing this up. I'm just saying I think it's a mix. I think there have been possibly beings, entities, whatever, throughout time that people have encountered who have no interest in anything, let's say paranormal or unexplained beforehand. And they have these experiences that they can't explain, and then they talk about them. And these ideas do get out there more and maybe change. And so you see different figures, you see different entities. Maybe different entities are formed from that. But I don't know that it all just comes from the minds of people. I've always had a real hard time with that, just based on the way sometimes so many people say, I've had this experience out of the blue with this, whatever you want to call whatever was out there, alien, cryptid, ghost, whatever, and I've never had an interest in this, but I had this experience and I can't explain it.
Yeah, well, but even then, so we're counterpointing here, and that's okay. We can agree and disagree in certain aspects. But even then, it's still flowing through our psyches. Like we're still sort of that bastion of humanity as individual nodes in that zeitgeist, in that noosphere that we always talk about. So I do wonder, like how much of that is real. And I'm not saying it isn't real. I'm saying that I'm sure there's sort of a flexible line there of what we could do. And, we've talked about the pop out topoids and sort of manifesting stress energy as entities or tulpas or that type of thing. So I don't know. I think it's quite a bit more complicated than people want to do. And I know you agree with that because there's a lot in play, and these experiences and experiencers, like I said, it's difficult to pin down because the human aspect of just us recognizing what we saw and trying to make sense of it is what's the term? It's just a little bit fuzzy is probably the best way to put it without being a ridiculous idiot, as I tend to be sometimes. And I'm sorry, look, I recognize I'm saying crazy again. I don't mean crazy. I'm wild is the term. I'm gonna get back to that because I was talking to Derek and I think I said crazy like 10 times. Not calling him crazy or the idea is crazy. Wild is better because it sounds like I'm calling people crazy. A recognition in yourself. But anyway, yeah, I mean, this is good. I mean, this is good. And maybe this is that aboriginal dream time, the primordial beginning that we can tap into some way and somehow. And maybe this is toes in the ocean of figuring that out. And that to me is incredible.
Yeah, so I did want to, if there's time, I mentioned I had some experiences where they were dreams, about places, and then I ended up going to those places. I don't know if you have time, want me to go into that real quick or not, or unless there's anyone else waiting.
No, we got nobody on the line. I'd love to hear it, man. And you deferred that. You wanted to tell that early on, so thank you for, again, being flexible. But yeah, we got some time now. I'd love to hear it. Go ahead.
Okay, so I've had, over the years, starting in my teenage years, went on for many years after that, I would have dreams of being in places that I didn't recognize. I had, and I'm terrible at remembering the exact years or dates or whatever, so I'm not going to even try with that. But starting from, I would say, my late teens to all the way up until today, I've had dreams about places I didn't recognize. One was about I was in a hallway, and I was looking at I was at the in the stem of like a T intersection hallway, and there was a table, excuse me, and two chairs, and the walls were like a regular wall, like a I don't know, call it plaster or whatever, bright colored walls, but there was this brick wall behind the table and chairs, and I was aware, and I was just sort of there. I couldn't feel my feet, but I was just sort of floating, I guess. I looked to my right, and I saw this wall made up of windows and tables and chairs, like a restaurant. But I didn't see anyone. I looked to my right, and I saw a door leading outside, and it was dark out. So I had that dream at one point, and then everything faded. Things always fade away in these dreams, and they fade away as I start to get tired, which is, I think, a neat aspect to all this. To me, that sort of implies that maybe I'm there somehow. So I had that dream, and then years later, I had another dream about being in a kitchen of a house. It was a small kitchen, and I walked from there. It had all kinds of regular appliances that a kitchen would have, and I walked into a room with tables. I had 6 tables, but they had benches instead of chairs along the tables. And I thought that was kind of weird, and eventually that dream faded. So I had another dream about being in a building. I thought it was a house that was an old house under construction, because I could see all the exposed wood, the frame and everything, and planks of the wood resting against walls. And I went from the main room into another room, and I could see these windows. And I need to look up what they're called. But they were windows, but they had the wood frame where you divided the window up into squares. And I was looking outside, and it was dark. All these experiences I had, it was dark out when I had these dreams, and this is years before I started being more nocturnal. So fast forward many years later, my dad and my stepmom now. They found out through me and through looking around online, there was this local paranormal investigation group that was having an event at a lighthouse in a coastal town in Michigan here. And so my stepmom and stepsisters and I signed up to go on this public paranormal investigation, because all the money from the proceeds from the tickets was going to renovation and upkeep of this whole complex here, this lighthouse, plus other buildings that were on the property. And we were a restaurant in the town was recommended to us when we get there, and we come in through the door, and I look to the left, and there's this brick wall with 2 chairs and a table sitting there. And I thought, that's kind of funny. I remember seeing that somewhere. And we get into the restaurant, and it has glass window walls all around the sides of the restaurant, and these tables and chairs. Boom. First dream, same location, but this was daytime when we went there in person. So I thought that's pretty amazing. And I've had similar times before where I had one dream, and I ended up going there to that place in person later on. And so we have dinner. We go to this lighthouse property. We meet in the lighthouse keeper's duplex home for the families, and we get in, walk into this kitchen, that I recognize and walk into the dining room where they have tables with benches instead of chairs. Second location, found. So we're going through the
just
rest
racking
of the
them all
night,
up in one
and
day, James. Racking them all up in one day. What the hell?
It was the weirdest thing. And so we go through the rest of the night and have some little things happen here and there. And we end up in, I think it was the last place we went to. We end up in this, it was formerly a hospital, but way back when. So it wasn't like a modern hospital, all stone and brick and whatever else, modern technology. It looked like a trailer park home, almost. We get in this building, and it's that building that I saw in the third dream, where with all the wood exposed, because they're still renovating it. And we walk into the first room, and I recognize it. And we walk into the second room, and I recognize that too. And it has those same windows with the wood built into where the windows look like grids. Third location in the same night, where I'd had dreams previous years, all separate dreams, all different times, and I ended up going there all to these places all in one night. It was the wildest thing.
That's wild. Okay, so beyond that, so what I would call that, as you know me, I'm a weirdo, but that seems like that temporal inflection point. When was this, year-wise? Was this like 5 years ago, 10 years ago? When did all this kind of come together?
This was probably at least probably 7 or 8 years ago now. I know it was before we all got stuck in our homes, that time period there.
Okay, so roughly right around the time Troubled Minds started?
Yeah, which is funny because I didn't even know you yet. What's Troubled Minds? What's that? I don't even know what that is.
Just saying. Saying. Looking for some other threads here. I don't know. It's weird. So those temporal inflection points, I like to call those, where there's a convergence of things. And again, I talked about that with Jay on Project Unity, the Trump stuff. Again, trust me, I do not approve politically. But it is wild to look at and see these things and consider that there's a ton of things coming together in a moment. And I don't know. I wonder if there's something that happened that maybe I had happened too, right? Or, maybe somebody else here had happened. I don't know. It's strange to me that, and the only way to figure that type of stuff out would be through this level of dream journaling that we're talking about, to be able to kind of recognize over time what's happening to us in that space, because something's happening. And is it, again, just as they say, the defrag of our brain computer wise, or is it something quite a bit more, as our ancestors have heavily considered? And of course I heavily consider as well, because being agnostic in as many ways as possible is a superpower in my opinion. And so here we are. Yeah, that's wild, James. You got a theory on what all that was, or are you still formulating all that stuff?
I don't have any theories. I will say also it's important to note, I forgot to mention this, some of you know this already, but I'm legally blind. So there's no way I could have ever driven to those places on my own to see them in person beforehand. I had to get a ride from family to go there. So some of these places, now the funny thing about a couple of those places is that they were said to be haunted. Of course, we were going there for a paranormal investigation, a ghost hunt, if you will. And there's other places that I've been to in my dreams and then gone there in person, where I felt like that sense of we're not alone here, and there's some other consciousness here that we can't see. So I do wonder if there was something to do with, I was supposed to have those experiences as part of, I don't know, preparing me in a way for the work I'd be doing later, years later, on my show and everything, and the writing I do and all these things. I do wonder about that. Again, the idea of maybe possibly my higher self pointing out these things, possibly directing me like, hey, this is going to be important later, so we're just going to send you over to this place for a little bit and that place for a little bit. And again, those are just the big three, but I would say I've had at least a dozen of those kinds of having a dream of a place first and then going there years later.
That's weird, man. It's weird. And I love it because that's the type of whatever that energy source is that we're tuning into is, once again, it's not specific to an individual. It seems like it's something that we all deal with in some capacity in different ways. I don't know. That's the point of talking about this stuff and hearing what people have to say. And I think we'd be better as a society, to be honest, if we were dream journaling, because maybe some of these, as I call them, temporal inflection points are very much more obvious when we are tuned into the other side, whatever that means. Define that however you like, but I don't know. It's weird, man. It's weird, especially with me, where I don't remember my dreams. I feel like I've missed half of my life now. God willing, I get another half or whatever. But the Stoic mindset, don't forget, it's very important. Tomorrow's not yours until it is. But you get my meaning here. I feel like there's a lot that's happening that we don't really sink into, that we miss because we don't practice it. It's like you get buff by working out. You get smart by, thinking about complex problems all the time, all this stuff. But that particular space of synchronicity is elusive. But we've talked about this a lot, and it feels like you can manifest some of this stuff, but it also feels elusive at the same time. So I don't know. Temporal inflection points, all the rest. We'll continue talking about this, as you know. Shout out Ioxy in the chat. Look, I don't know. No answers, just more questions as part of this. But yeah, that's a wild tale, James. And I wonder what I was doing on that day. You know what I'm saying? Not to make it about me. No, not to make it about me. But you know what I'm saying? Like, because we've converged at this point as people, as friends, as collaborators, as all the rest, right? As confidants, all this stuff. And so I don't know. Like, I wonder. Like, and imagine this. Whatever day that was for James, what were you guys doing on that day? You see what I'm saying? And if we're not dream journaling or tapped into whatever that other side is, maybe something incredibly important happened. And we all missed it. Just making the case. About to wrap, as you know. Final thought, James.
I think we should go beyond dream journaling. I think we should all be able to write down any anomalous experience we have, not saying what it is or who it is or how it works or whatever. Write down any anomalous experience we have or record it, a voice, however we do it. And then there should be more open, there shouldn't be the stigma against these ideas and these thoughts and these experiences. There should be a combining of just everyone's experiences, everyone's records of their experiences. Because I think there's a lot more people that have these anomalous experiences than we hear about. And if you just imagine everyone out there being able to share and talk about what they've experienced with everyone else, imagine what we might be able to possibly figure out, or at the very least, help each other realize that we're not alone.
You're not alone, James. You got us. You're not alone. You're definitely not alone, James. And that's the whole point, right? It's interesting, right? So is this a radio show? Is it a podcast? Is it a community? What is it? Is it eventually the Dream Syndicate? Puff says, I'm going to try to meet one of you in my dreams tomorrow when I go to bed. Which one of you is it? We need a dream volunteer to meet Puff in the dream. So
have fun, Mike.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Hey, I'm down. Just be nice. Don't like, stick me with an astral spear in my dream or something. But I mean, I don't know. That type of stuff is worth considering. It's worth considering. Can you manifest that? And I know we've tried that sort of in a smaller group. No results from me, but nothing I remember. No. But does that mean no? I'm not sure about that. So anyway, yeah, we got the solstice coming up, right? Is the summer solstice around the corner?
I don't know. Probably.
I think it's. Hold on, let me check this out because the last super crazy bizarre dream I had. There's that term again. Super wild bizarre dream I had was. It was the summer solstice last year. It was. I did a whole show on it. We talked about it. Like, is anybody else dreaming crazy style right now? I did it again. And
words are hard.
Words are hard. And training yourself to say things or not say things is also hard. Like, habits, and as usual. If the old podcast trope is, well, James, that's super interesting. You could try to burn that one out of your entire vocabulary because that's just what everybody says.
I still say it.
Yeah, I still say it too. I try and say fascinating or anyway, just trying to train our psyches to do particular things. And again, and it's not brainwashing. It's more emulating an inclusive point. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, summer solstice. Is it this week? Right? I think it's happening like now almost. Like we're kind of in that spot. And the last really, really, really bizarre dream I had was during the summer solstice last year. That was out of left field. I was like, what the hell was that? I did a whole show on it. Go check it out to prove it. I've time stamped it. Summer solstice 2025 will occur on June 21st. Okay. All right. Or 3:42 a.m. BST. What the hell is BST? You weirdos and your weird time zones. Stop it with the time zone stuff. So that's going to be what, 5 days from now? That's going to be Saturday night. Did we do a Saturday night show?
No, I do. But you don't, but we could.
What do we instead? That's what I'm asking. No, it's up to you. I'm asking. I'm asking. Anyway, send us feedback. I'm not bogarting anything here. I'm just saying it's an interesting time. And it feels as if that the summer to me is the power space. I feel like I'm thriving when it's warm outside. And I'm sure many others do. But anyway, you guys tell me. And I'll message Jen and see if we can figure something out. But I'm not volunteering, by the way, either. I'm just saying it's interesting to maybe do a summer solstice show, like for a special or something. Anyway, but that's the thing.
That's wild. Okay, sorry to derail for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
This Saturday, the show that I'm doing this Saturday, that day is also going to be the recording of the 800th episode of my podcast.
Okay.
So that's kind of wild.
So how do we...
So you're welcome to join me on the show if you want to.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay. All right. Well, there's some weird energy in play here, but interesting stuff afoot. Fascinating stuff afoot. See what I did there? Train yourself to say the things you want to say. Yeah, and 800 is incredible, James. Holy crap. That's a lot of shows, man. It's a lot of shows.
It is.
Congratulations on that. And yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. There it is. See? A weird convergence of energy happening. And how do you describe it? I don't know. Is it another temporal inflection point? Maybe. Also, maybe not. You decide, as usual. I don't know what to believe. Agnostic in all the ways. James, you're the best. Appreciate you very much. See what happened there? Like there's a weird convergence of energy happening. I don't know. We'll talk about it offline. Holy crap. Anything else before we dip?
No, just the topic of that show is going to be Dogman. So you're welcome to hang out with Jen and I on that show.
Dogman. I love the Dogmans. Was that St. Christopher, right? We talked a little bit about that last time?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, all right, cool. There you go. If you haven't followed James yet, you're doing yourself and us and all the rest of us and yourself a disservice. Please go follow James. TroubledMinds.org/friends. Click on James. It's alphabetical. SalcedoParanormal.com. All his stuff is there. Go buy his books. Go follow his podcast and all the places. Go, just go help. Just go spread the word. Let people know a conversation's happening with James, the paranormal expert at Troubled Minds, and of course all the rest of us that we're collaborating. We're being cool and chill and wild and weird and all the things together. Oh, I want to read this before we finish too. Derek said this, Derek the Night Stalker, as we finish. He said, dream Easter eggs from the dream architect that we wouldn't have noticed if we relied on just memory, giving us a glimpse behind the curtain or how the storytelling process works. Yeah. Fire. Yeah, that's it. Please follow our friends. If you want to help Troubled Minds, follow our friends. Like I said, this has always been a collaborative effort first because of you guys spending your time and energy with us. please think of all the time and energy that goes into this. Just from my perspective, it's a lot. So reciprocate some of that by helping our friends. Go make some accounts in some places you don't have them. Go follow them. Go boost their stuff. Go buy their books. Go do all those things. It's like I said, the rising tide and the ships and all that stuff. Shout out Derek for that one too. I don't even know because I live in Vegas. There's no rising tide out here, but you get the point. Let's be nice to each other, and let's collaborate, and let's do good stuff. And that's that. What's up, Bim Jim? I see you there. If you want to have Troubled Minds directly, hey, but go again. My computer's deprecating. Windows 10 is no longer going to be. I think October's the cutoff or something. I've been limping along with the middling computer for a long time. Buy the music. Buy the music. Where's the music? Is it here? Hold on. There it is right there. There's the music. Please go buy the music. Thank you for the people that have done it tonight. Thank you for Smoke Dizzle. Said this very nicely as well. Thank you. He said this. Said Smoke Dizzle said, "Hey everyone, just a friendly reminder. This show is in fact awesome. 100. We all know it. Now just imagine when Mike has the computer he wants. We will all be in for a treat. Let's do this, fam, as the best community on the interwebs. This should be easy, no brainer. Get the songs, leave the tip even, which you can do. Thank you for that. Thank you for dealing with it. Like I said, I feel scummy even asking, but some things, temporal convergence points happen, don't they? As we finish, it goes exactly like this. Be sure, be strong, be true. Thank you for listening. From our troubled minds to yours,